Chapter 2470. New ranking. Yang was dead. Some of the commanders heaved a sigh of relief. They looked at Lu Ming with a grave expression. To be able to kill Yang, his combat power had already surpassed most of the commanders. Only some of the higher-ranked commanders could do it. Commander Rama's eyes were cold, but he didn't say anything. Among the crowd, Bamboo and Liao Min were the most shocked. So strong, he's so strong? How did this happen? Blue muttered, his eyes filled with shock. At the thought that he had offended Lu Ming previously, he could not help but shiver. Lu Ming could even kill Commander Yang. It would be a piece of cake to kill him. Alright, Lu Ming, you've killed Yang and replaced him. You're temporarily ranked 9th. You can participate in the challenge of the General Assembly later, King Feng Ming announced. Many thanks, country ruler. Lu Ming cupped his fists in thanks and then returned to the stands. This subordinate pays his respects to Lord Commander. As soon as Lu Ming returned to the grandstand, Liao Min bowed respectfully. Now that Lu Ming had taken over Yang's position and became a commander, he was their immediate superior. Liao Min sighed secretly. Not long ago, Lu Ming was the same as them, just a guard. But now, he had become a commander and replaced Yang's position. This was the world of cultivation. The strong were respected. As long as one had the strength, reputation and status were at their fingertips. Your subordinate greets Lord Commander. At the side, Blue also hurriedly bowed, his head deeply lowered in respect. Lu Ming cast an indifferent glance at Blue. Blue's body trembled and he broke out in cold sweat. No need to be so polite, sit down. Lu Ming waved his hand. Then he sat down. The challenge continued. It was still the commander of the border city who issued the challenge. Originally, the border city's commander was going to challenge Yang, but now that Yang was dead, the commander had become Lu Ming. He had seen Lu Ming's combat strength just now. He knew that he was no match for Lu Ming. Therefore, he skipped Lu Ming and challenged the 8th-ranked commander. Naturally, he was defeated. Next, it was Lu Ming's turn to challenge. I give up the challenge, Lu Ming said loudly. Since he had already obtained the commander's position, Lu Ming had no intention of continuing the challenge. Going too far was as bad as not going too far. He understood this principle. He could already do a lot of things with this commander's position. Lu Ming's decision to give up on the challenge delighted some of the commanders, especially those who were ranked before him. The challenge continued. The next challenge did not have much suspense. 100 years was too short for experts like them. Their strength would not change much. Very quickly, it was Rama's turn to challenge. Will he challenge Lu Ming first? Many people thought so. Lu Ming had just killed one of Rama's powerful guards. Given Rama's character, he would not let Lu Ming off so easily. However, Rama took a few glances at Lu Ming and did not challenge him. After all, Lu Ming's strength still made Luo Mo somewhat apprehensive. He was afraid that after challenging Lu Ming, he would then challenge Commander Yuzhan and not be at his peak. Therefore, he did not challenge Lu Ming. Instead, he looked at Yuzhan. As expected, the guards that Rama sent out after him were all guards that challenged Commander Yuzhan. The two sides were locked in battle. However, Commander Rama still lost a guard. The other party still had a guard, but Rama no longer had a guard. He had to fight himself. Luo Mo leaped onto the battle platform and looked at Commander Yuzhan. Yuzhan, come down and fight. Defeat my guard first. Yuzhan said coldly. After which, his guard leaped onto the fighting stage. The last guard under Yuzhan's command was also a Heavenly Emperor expert, but he was only a 1-star Heavenly Emperor. A first-level void transformation martial artist wants to consume my energy? You must be dreaming. Get lost. Luo Mo shouted loudly and sent out a palm strike. The terrifying power of the palm strike was like an avalanche as it surged towards the other party. 3rd-level void transformation stage. Commander Rama's cultivation base was at the 3rd-level void transformation stage, which was equivalent to a 3-star Heavenly Emperor. He was much stronger than a 1-star Heavenly Emperor. Although the other party had used all his means, he was still unable to change the outcome. He was blasted off the fighting ring by Rama's palm force. Yuzhan, do it yourself. Don't call these small fries over. Loma looked at Commander Yuzhan, radiating a powerful battle intent. You haven't fought for 100 years. Let's see where your confidence comes from. Commander Yuzhan spoke coldly. With a move of his body, he appeared on the battle platform, standing opposite to Commander Luoma. Boom. Both of them burst out with powerful auras. Their auras collided and produced a violent boom. Without a doubt, Commander Yuzhan was also a 3-star heavenly emperor. Boom. Suddenly, the two of them moved. They turned into 2 rays of light and fiercely collided with each other, starting an intense battle. Bang, bang. The attacks of the 2 men kept clashing against each other, and the fighting ring was filled with endless rumbles. In the blink of an eye, the 2 had exchanged dozens of moves. Then, there was a violent explosion and the 2 of them retreated rapidly. The only difference was that Yuzhan had retreated over 20 steps, while Rama had only retreated a dozen steps. Ramfi, your cultivation base. Commander Yuzhan looked at Commander Luo Mo in shock, his eyes filled with disbelief. Haha, Yuzhan, I'm only a step away from the 4th level of the void transformation stage now. Let's see how you're going to fight me. Luo Mo laughed madly and was filled with confidence. This time around, he was confident that he could defeat Yuzhan, not only because of that royal member of the foreign race, but also because of his own strength. In the past 100 years, his cultivation had finally made another breakthrough. He was only 1 step away from the 4th level void transformation stage and had already reached the limit of the 3rd level void transformation stage. His combat strength had already surpassed Yuzhan. The other commanders were also extremely shocked. This time, the ranking of the commanders was probably going to change. Yuzhan, be defeated. Commander Luoma continued to charge at Commander Yuzhan. Don't even think about it. Commander Yuzhan roared in anger, and the 2 of them once again engaged in an intense battle. However, although Luo Mo was stronger, he wasn't that much stronger. Under Yuzhan's desperate resistance, it wouldn't be easy for Luo Mo to obtain victory. The 2 of them exchanged more than 200 moves. In the end, Commander Yuzhan was no match for Commander Lama and was defeated. Commander Yuzhan returned to the grandstand with an unsightly expression and circulated his martial arts to treat his injuries. Alright, this time's commanders' meeting has ended. Next, I will announce the rankings of the commanders for the next 100 years, said King Fengming. Everyone's spirits were lifted. The new ranking was about to be released, and this would affect the distribution of benefits later. First place, Rama. King Fengming announced the first place. It's really Rama. Many people were shocked. Although Luo Mo had lost a guard this time, he was still extremely powerful. He was invincible among the 13 commanders. It was normal for him to be ranked first after defeating Commander Yuzhan. Commander Yuzhan's face turned gloomy, while Commander Lama laughed out loud before thanking Monarch Fengming. Chapter 2471 Bullying. Second place, Yuzhan. Third place, shortly. Ninth place, Lu Ming. Very soon, Lu Ming had announced the ranking of all the commanders. There was not much change in the rankings. The only ones that had changed were Luo Mo and Yuzhan, as well as Lu Ming, who had killed Yang and replaced his position. Alright, the General Assembly has ended. My beloved subjects, please enjoy your meal. Country ruler Fengming smiled and ordered his men to serve all sorts of delicacies. It wasn't until the next day that the crowd dispersed. Lu Ming brought Bamboo and Liao Min back to the governor's manor. Throughout the journey, Bin Biu was trembling with fear, afraid that Lu Ming would find trouble with him. This subordinate pays his respects to the commander. The moment he returned to the governor's manor, he saw the other guards leading the people from the governor's manor to welcome Lu Ming respectfully. Obviously, they had already received the news that Yi Yang had died in Lu Ming's hands and that Lu Ming had inherited the position of commander. Everyone, there's no need to be so polite. They'll still need to rely on you to do things for me in the future. Lu Ming smiled. I'm willing to die for the commander. Blue was 1 step ahead. I'm willing to die for the commander. The others also shouted. Alright, well, stay in the imperial capital for now. You guys go help me with something. Send people to find these 3-eyed people. Lu Ming took out a jade talisman. The jade talisman glowed and many pictures appeared in the air. These pictures were the appearances of the different races of the foreign races. When you find these people, don't beat the grass and alert the snake. Come back and report to me. Lu Ming instructed. Yes. Everyone bowed and Lu Ming dismissed them. Lu Ming picked a room. After he entered the room, a storage ring appeared in his hand. This storage ring belonged to Yang. Lu Ming was looking forward to it. He wondered how many resources Yang had in his storage ring. Lu Ming's spiritual senses entered and he began to count. Not long after, Lu Ming's face broke into a smile. 3 million divine stones. There were 3 million divine stones in Yang's storage ring, which was equivalent to 300 billion supreme-grade raw stones. Lu Ming was overjoyed. These resources were enough for him to break through to the 4-star Great Emperor realm, or even the 5-star Great Emperor realm. However, Yang's storage ring didn't have any combat weapons that were equivalent to the Heavenly Dao soldiers. There were only weapons that were equivalent to Great Emperor weapons. It seemed that weapons that were equivalent to Heaven Dao soldiers were relatively precious even in Netherworld Mountain. However, Lu Ming was already quite satisfied. Next, he only needed to send people to search for the alien races. If they could be killed, Lu Ming would kill them directly. However, it would be more troublesome to find living beings from the Heaven Realm. The creatures of the Heaven Realm were closer to the creatures of Netherworld Mountain. Unless he met them in person and could sense the aura of the Heaven Realm on them, it would be difficult for others to find them. Also, Lu Ming wanted to find out more about the Cursed Land in the capital of Fengming. He wanted to find an opportunity to enter it. However, these things could not be rushed. He had to take it one step at a time. Lu Ming closed his eyes and began to cultivate. In the blink of an eye, half a month had passed. Lu Ming ended his cultivation and walked out. However, after Lu Ming walked around for a while, he felt a little strange. The number of people in the governor's manor had decreased. At that moment, a figure flashed and Liao Min appeared not far away. "Greetings, Commander." Liao Min saluted, but her expression was not good. "What's wrong, Liao Min? Why do I feel that the number of people in the governor's manor has decreased by a lot?" Lu Ming asked. "Commander, something has happened." Liao Min said with an ugly expression. "Oh, what happened?" Lu Ming asked, his expression still calm. "Some time ago, Commander Rama released news that you killed his trusted guard. He won't let you off so easily. He'll kill you sooner or later," Liao Min said. And then, Lu Ming's expression remained calm. One could not tell what he was thinking. After that, Rama continued to say that the fault lies with you and it has nothing to do with the other people in the governor's manor. As long as the others submit to him, he would let bygones be bygones and entrust them with heavy responsibilities. Liao Min answered. "And then, those people all ran to Rama?" Lu Ming said with a smile. However, there was a cold glint in the depths of his eyes. "That's right. Blue was the first to join Rama. During this period of time he has been encouraging others to join him. Now, 10 out of the 18 guards have joined Rama." Liao Min gritted her teeth and said, "Hee Rama," Lu Ming sneered. He didn't want to go too far, but some people were forcing him. At this moment, outside the governor's manor, a clamor suddenly rang out. Lu Ming extended his spiritual sense out and saw a group of people surrounding the entrance of the governor's manor. Blue was one of the few people in the lead. In addition, there were a few people who were the guards under Rama. Lu Ming's subordinates and a few guards stopped them at the door. "You people are still so stubborn. Are you following Lu Ming to your deaths?" Blue glanced at the guards and sneered. The guards' expressions were ugly and they were hesitating. As the leader of the 13 commanders, Commander Rama is very powerful. Lu Ming can't compare to him at all. Lu Ming will die sooner or later for offending Commander Rama. If you continue to follow him, you'll only be sending yourselves to your deaths. A wise man submits to circumstances. You'd better submit to Commander Rama as soon as possible. Blue continued. "Blue, you traitor." Liao Min couldn't stand it anymore. She rushed out and scolded. "Traitor? What a joke. Lu Ming is going to die. Why should I accompany him to his death? Liao Min, you'd better quickly submit to Lord Rama. I can put in a few good words for you and get you a job." Otherwise, you'll end up in a miserable state. Blue sneered as he scanned Liao Min with a pair of fiery eyes. Liao Min was furious and her face turned red. I'll give you one last chance. You only have 3 days. If you don't surrender to Lord Rama after 3 days, you'll die with Lu Ming. Blue said coldly. Oh really? I'd like to see what you're capable of. A cold voice was heard. Lu Ming stepped out. Lu Ming. At the sight of Lu Ming, Blue's eyes narrowed. He subconsciously took a few steps back, his eyes filled with fear. However, the next moment he thought of something. His courage grew and he stopped. Blue, I've already given you a chance. It's a pity that you didn't cherish it. Lu Ming said coldly, his body exuding a cold, murderous intent. Lu Ming, what do you want to do? I'm now Lord Rama's guard. You dare to touch me? You're looking for death. Blue shouted. Didn't I already kill one of Rama's guards? Lu Ming sneered. Blue's expression changed. Lu Ming, Lord Rama has spoken. If you go and beg for his forgiveness now, then join him and work for him, he might consider sparing you. One of the Romo guards beside Blue said. This person had the cultivation base of a 1-star heavenly emperor. Chapter 2473 Killing his way to the door? He's asking me to help him? The corners of Lu Ming's lips curled up slightly, revealing a mocking expression. All of you, go back and pass a message to him. Tell him that I, Lu Ming, will give him 3 days' time. Within 3 days, he must come and kneel before me to apologize. After that, he must submit to me and work for me. Otherwise, 3 days later, I will storm his governor's manor and take his dog life. What? Lu Ming's words stunned everyone. Luo Mo's words were to get Lu Ming to join him and work for him. Now, Lu Ming had actually asked Rama to kneel and apologize and then help Lu Ming with his work. This contrast stunned everyone, and they thought they had heard wrong. What did you just say? One of the Rama guards pointed at Lu Ming with a trembling finger. He thought that he was dreaming. Go back and tell them to get lost. Lu Ming shouted coldly. Lu Ming, you're so stubborn. You're asking for death. Liao Min, do you see that? Lu Ming is arrogant and stubborn. He's asking for death and he's going to bring all of you down with him. If you don't surrender now, he'll put in a few good words for you in front of Commander Rama. Blue shouted. Do you want to surrender? Lu Ming looked at Liao Min. I'm willing to die for you, Commander. Liao Min gritted her teeth and cupped her fists. What about you guys? Lu Ming looked at the remaining guards. The guards' expressions changed. Then, they gritted their teeth and said, I'm willing to die for you, Commander. All right. Lu Ming revealed a smile on his face. You guys? You're so stubborn, you're seeking death. Blue shouted. Glowing. Lu Ming said coldly. He suddenly moved and appeared in front of Blue, pointing his finger. A burst of energy shot out, directly piercing through Blue's dantian. Blue's eyes widened and he looked at Lu Ming in disbelief. Then he started to scream crazily. He screamed wildly. He did not expect that Lu Ming would really dare to attack him now that he had become Rama's guard. His heart was filled with despair. Although the cultivation of the people of Netherworld Mountain was different from that of the Heaven Realm, there was one thing in common. That was, the dantian was still a vital point, a place to store energy. If his dantian was destroyed, his cultivation base would be crippled. I'm not killing you now because I want you to see how I'm going to destroy Rama. Get lost. Lu Ming shouted coldly and threw Blue out. The others were incomparably terrified, and they hurriedly retreated with Blue. Lu Ming did not say anything. He turned around and returned to the governor's manor. As for Lu Ming's request for Rama to kneel and apologize, if he did not apologize, the news that he would attack the Rama residence in 3 days spread like a whirlwind throughout the entire capital. The capital was shaken. It had only been a few days since the meeting of the commanders. Many of the commanders had not returned to their respective territories. They were all shocked and were looking forward to the next development of the situation. Damn it! Rama's angry roar came from the governor's manor. Lu Ming, you brat, how dare you? You're seeking your own death. Let's see how you're going to kill me in 3 days. Rama roared in anger as his cold, killing intent enveloped the entire governor's manor. Countless experts in the capital were watching. The atmosphere in the capital was extremely tense. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. Let's go. Follow me to the Romos governor's manor. Lu Ming strode out of the commander's residence and headed for the Rama residence. Liao Min and the other guards gritted their teeth and followed Lu Ming. They were taking a gamble. They realized that Lu Ming was too relaxed these few days. This wasn't done on purpose. He was really relaxed. If they were not confident, they would not be so relaxed. Therefore, they took a gamble. They bet that Lu Ming had the confidence to deal with Rama. If they bet correctly, they would definitely be successful. Lu Ming has set off. The moment Lu Ming came out, the entire capital was in an uproar. Countless people, both openly and secretly, followed Lu Ming as he headed for the Romos governor's manor. Not long after, Lu Ming arrived at the Romos governor's manor. The Romos governor's manor had already been heavily surrounded, both inside and outside. Stop! Outside the Romos governor's manor, someone stopped Lu Ming. Get lost, die! Lu Ming shouted coldly and took a step forward. A terrifying aura burst out, forming a storm-like force that rushed forward. Boom! Those people guarding the gate were directly sent flying out by the force. Lu Ming strode in. Inside the gate was a wide courtyard, which was already full of people. At the very top, Luo was sitting on an armchair. On both sides of him were expert guards. Lu Ming's gaze swept across the room and he realized that Blue was there as well. Blue was glaring at Lu Ming with a venomous look. Lu Ming, are you here to apologize to me? Luo sneered. Killing intent flashed in the depths of his eyes. I'm here to take your dog head. Lu Ming said coldly. How dare you? You're looking for death. How dare you be so rude to Commander Rama? Luo's guards all shouted. However, when Lu Ming's cold gaze swept across them, their expressions changed drastically and they broke out in cold sweat. Now, I'll give you all a chance. I'll give you 10 breaths to consider. After 10 breaths, surrender to me and I'll let bygones be bygones. Lu Ming's gaze swept across the surroundings, looking as if he did not care about Rama at all. Haha. Luo was so angry that he laughed. He stood up from his chair and a violent aura spread out, causing everyone to feel great pressure. Luo had already reached the peak of the 3rd-level void transformation stage. In Feng Ming country, other than the king, no one was his match. They're about to make their move. Outside the governor's manor, the other governors and experts were all paying close attention. At this moment, their hearts trembled. Kill him. Blue roared in his heart and could not wait to cut Lu Ming into 8 pieces. Today, I will make you wish you were dead. Luo said coldly. As soon as he finished speaking, he rushed toward Lu Ming. Buzz! A snow-white scimitar appeared in Rama's hand. It was extremely sharp and he slashed at Lu Ming. Lu Ming clenched his fist and condensed a long spear with the way of domination. He swept the spear out. Clang! The 2 attacks collided, creating a terrifying shockwave that swept in all directions. Quickly retreat. The surrounding people retreated frantically, afraid of being dragged in. With a loud boom, Lu Ming and Rama both took a few steps back. We're on par. How is that possible? Many people were shocked. Lu Ming could actually fight to a draw with Rama. They finally knew why Lu Ming dared to come all the way here. It turned out that he had enough capital. Kill! Luo roared and unleashed his combat strength to the maximum as he charged toward Lu Ming. Lu Ming held his long spear and charged over. Lu Ming did not use his physical strength. He only used the way of the master to fight. Now that Lu Ming's cultivation had reached the 3-star Great Emperor level, he could suppress an ordinary 3-star Heavenly Emperor with the Tao of Domination alone. Chapter 2474. Killing Rama. The scimitar in Rama's hand continued to slash out. His saber technique was fierce and sharp. He aimed at Lu Ming's vital parts from a tricky angle. However, Lu Ming's long spear shook and turned into rays of spear light, blocking all the saber lights. In the blink of an eye, the 2 of them had exchanged dozens of moves. The two of them fought from the courtyard of the governor's mansion up into the sky, their chi spreading out in all directions like a storm. However, Luo Mo's figure was continuously pushed back as the energy spread out. Every time he collided with Lu Ming's long spear, he would have to take a step back. After dozens of moves, he had already taken dozens of steps back. Damn it, how is this possible? How can he be so strong? Luo Mo roared in his heart. With his cultivation base at the peak of the third-level void transformation stage, only the king of Fengming could suppress him in Fengming country. Now, Lu Ming, who did not seem to have a high cultivation base, actually had a stronger combat strength than him. He could not believe it. Impossible! Blue, who was in the crowd, roared in his heart. His face was completely twisted. His cultivation had been crippled by Lu Ming. He was looking forward to Rama defeating Lu Ming and even crippling Lu Ming's cultivation so that Lu Ming would be better off dead. Unfortunately, his wish was destined to never come true. Liao Min and the others were overjoyed. They knew that they had made the right bet. Lu Ming was completely capable of dealing with Rama. They were not afraid. Kill, kill, die. Luo Mo roared in the sky as he used all his strength. His body was even surrounded by a blood-red mist. The scimitar in his hand was also covered with a layer of blood-red light. Its power was instantly increased by a level and it could actually fight with Lu Ming without being at a disadvantage. The creatures in Netherworld Mountain are much stronger than those in the Heaven Realm or the Evil God Realm. Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat. He was a little surprised. In the outside world, given Lu Ming's combat strength, he could probably kill a 3-star Celestial the Arch with the Tao of Domination and many moves, unless the other party was shockingly talented. But now, he could only barely gain an advantage against Rama with his ruler's Tao. The creatures of Netherworld Mountain cultivated extremely condensed power. The combat skills they cultivated, when combined with that power, were shockingly powerful and invincible. In this aspect, he was a little like Xian Yanqing. However, Xian Yanqing was stronger. Rama, is this your full strength? Then let's end this. Lu Ming said coldly. Buzz. At this moment, all the muscles and bones in his body started to shake. At the same time, the long spear in his hand disappeared and was replaced by the Great Desolation Spear. Lu Ming used his physical strength, the Heaven Tao Soldier, and the Great Desolation Spear. With the two enhancements, Lu Ming's combat strength increased tremendously. Boom! The Great Desolation Spear swept out and collided with Luo Mo's scimitar, causing a shocking explosion. Buzz! The scimitar in Rama's hand kept shaking. The terrifying power sent him flying. His arm was almost broken. The chi and blood in his body churned, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Weapon? Luo Mo was shocked. Lu Ming did not give Rama any chance to catch his breath. He kept stabbing with the Great Desolation Spear. The spear's gleam was thousands of miles long and pierced through the space, aiming at Rama. Rama was shocked and tried to block frantically. However, he could not block it at all. Every time he blocked a spear radiance, he would be sent flying. After blocking more than a dozen of them, there was finally an opening. Lu Ming's spear pierced through his chest, leaving a large hole in it. Luo Mo spat out a mouthful of blood. Under the destructive power, half of his body exploded. He was severely injured, and his strength was greatly reduced. Lu Ming stepped in the air and swept the Great Desolation Spear. No, no, I'm willing to surrender, Rama shouted in fear. He understood that he was not Lu Ming's match. If he did not surrender, he would die. I've given you a chance before, but you didn't know how to cherish it. Lu Ming said coldly. He would not give his opponent another chance. He wanted to establish his might with this battle. The long spear carried a terrifying power as it crushed over. Luo Mo's combat power was greatly reduced, and he was unable to avoid it. He could only block with his scimitar. Thump! The Great Desolation Spear swept across his curved blade and struck his body heavily. He was sent flying like a broken sack. In the process of flying, his body exploded into several pieces. Kill! Lu Ming thrust his spear across the air. A ray of spear light pierced through the void and destroyed Rama's soul. Then, a wave of energy rolled and Rama's storage ring was kept in his hand. Luoan was dead. The entire place was silent. Everyone knew that with Rama's death, the rankings of the remaining commanders would definitely change. Plop. In the crowd, Blue's body went limp and he fell to the ground, his face filled with despair. Lu Ming cast a cold glance at Blue but did not kill him. A cripple should be left to fend for himself. The commander is mighty. The commander is invincible. Liao Min shouted in excitement. Following that, the other guards who did not betray Lu Ming also shouted in excitement. They knew that they had made the right bet, so they were naturally excited. Lu Ming's gaze swept across Rama's subordinates and guards. Under Lu Ming's gaze, the guards and subordinates shivered and broke out in cold sweat. If any of you want to avenge Rama, feel free to attack. I'll take you all on, Lu Ming said coldly. Those people's faces were covered with cold sweat. The commander is invincible. We are willing to serve the commander. Immediately, a few people rushed out and saluted Lu Ming respectfully. You guys still have the face to serve the commander. You're really shameless. Liao Min berated them. This was because these people were Lu Ming's guards and they had previously sided with Rama. Hey! Lu Ming waved his hand and stopped Liao Min. He smiled and said, This commander is magnanimous. As long as you come back and do your best for this commander, I will let bygones be bygones. To Lu Ming, Netherworld Mountain was just a passerby. He would not stay there for long. The most important thing for him now was to borrow the power here to find foreign races and obtain information about the cursed lands to obtain opportunities. Therefore, he didn't care whether the other party would betray him or what kind of heart he had. As long as he could use him, it was fine. He had already crippled Blue and killed Rama. It was enough to kill the chicken to warn the monkeys. Many thanks, Commander. The few of them were ecstatic. You're the same. Surrender to me now and work for me, and I'll let bygones be bygones. Lu Ming looked at Rama's subordinates. Those people looked at each other, then saluted Lu Ming in unison. They said loudly, I'm willing to serve the commander. I'm willing to serve the commander. Instantly, all of Rama's subordinates saluted Lu Ming to show their allegiance. At this moment, an old man in official robes flew over and said, The king has given the order to appoint Lu Ming as the first commander. He will be in charge of all the armies and territories of Rama. Chapter 2475 Identity discovered. It was obvious that King Feng Ming had been paying attention to this matter. As soon as Lu Ming won, King Feng Ming immediately sent someone to confer Lu Ming the title of first commander and to rope him in. Many thanks, country ruler. Lu Ming cupped his fists. Congratulations, Commander Lu. Congratulations. The other commanders also came forward to congratulate Lu Ming. Lu Ming nodded in response. Not long after, the crowd dispersed and Lu Ming officially took charge of the governor's manor, the army, and the territory of Rama. 2 days later, Lu Ming began to send people to investigate the foreign races in Feng Ming country. He also sent people to look for clues about the cursed land. There were many cursed lands in Netherworld Mountain, and the living beings of Netherworld Mountain could not enter. In Feng Ming country, there was a cursed land that was heavily guarded by Feng Ming country ruler. After more than 10 days, there was finally news that they had found traces of foreign races in the north of Feng Ming. According to their subordinates, there were a total of 3 alien races. Their cultivation levels were unknown, but they did not disturb them. A cold glint flashed in Lu Ming's eyes and he set off immediately. There was no reason for him to let the alien races go. Lu Ming charged over directly. In a valley, 3 non-humans were discussing how to enter the capital of Feng Ming and find an opportunity to enter the cursed land. However, these 3 alien races weren't particularly strong. 2 of them were 1-star heavenly emperors, and the other was a great emperor. Lu Ming could sense the other party's cultivation. He did not hesitate and attacked immediately. Bush. Lu Ming rushed into the sky and shot out 3 spearlights. Without any suspense, the 3 foreign kinds were killed immediately. Then, he took the other party's storage ring and burned the alien's corpse to ashes. Lu Ming left the place. After that, there were no more traces of foreign races in Feng Ming. Netherworld Mountain was huge, and Fengming country was only a small part of it. This time, there were not many outsiders who came in. There were only a few thousand of them, and they were scattered. Naturally, there were not many people from Fengming country. Lu Ming put more energy into the cursed land. Lu Ming pondered on how to find an opportunity to sneak into the cursed land. At this moment, Monarch Fengming sent someone to summon Lu Ming. Within the imperial palace, in a large hall, Monarch Fengming sat on the high seat. Lu Ming walked into the hall and cupped his fists. Lu Ming greets the country ruler. "Commander Lu, please take a seat." King Fengming waved his hand, an inexplicable smile on his face. Lu Ming sat down at the side. "I wonder why the country ruler has summoned Lu Ming?" Lu Ming asked. King Fengming seemed to be smiling but not smiling. He muttered to himself for a moment before he suddenly opened his mouth. "Lu Ming, if I'm not mistaken, you're not from the Netherworld world, are you?" Lu Ming's heart skipped a beat, but his face remained calm. Country ruler must be joking. If I'm not from the Yellow Springs world, where would I be from? It came from beyond the heavens. King Fengming opened his mouth and his eyes became even brighter. "In the ancient records of my Fengming country, there were records that in the distant past, who knows how many years ago, there were people from beyond the heavens who descended. These people from beyond the heavens were not afraid of the cursed land of Netherworld Mountain and could enter and leave freely. As for you, I can't find any information on you. It's as if you appeared out of thin air. After you became the commander, you immediately sent people to investigate some inexplicable people. Most importantly, you've been investigating the cursed lands all this time. No one in the Yellow Springs world is interested in the cursed lands because the people of the Yellow Springs world can't enter these cursed lands. Only people from beyond the heavens are interested in the cursed lands. Am I right?" King Fengming's eyes were bright as he stared at Lu Ming. Lu Ming's thoughts turned quickly. He pondered for a while and said, "That's right, I'm indeed from beyond the heavens." Since the other party was already suspicious, there was nothing to hide. It was better to just say it out and negotiate with the other party. He really is from beyond the heavens. King Fengming's eyes were incomparably bright as he said excitedly, I didn't expect it. So the ancient records are true. I always thought it was just made up, just a legend." After a long while, Monarch Fengming finally calmed down. "Lu Ming, you want to enter the cursed land, don't you?" asked King Fengming. "Not bad." Lu Ming nodded and told him the truth. Legend has it that the cursed land was left behind by the most ancient ancestor of the Yellow Springs world. You'll have a great opportunity. Lu Ming, let's work together. They'll let you enter the cursed land, and you'll split the treasures you obtain 50-50. How about it? Said King Fengming. That's right, well split it 50-50. If I don't let you enter the cursed land, you won't be able to enter either. You have to understand this. King Fengming said, his body exuding a powerful aura. Monarch Fengming was a 4th-level void transformation stage martial artist. He was a peerless expert that was equivalent to a 4-star heavenly emperor. All right. Lu Ming did not hesitate and nodded. It was a win-win cooperation. Lu Ming did not have to fall out with the other party. Fine, Commander Lu, you can go back first. I will let you know in a few days. King Fengming smiled. Lu Ming cupped his fists and left. Lu Ming returned to the governor's manor. He cultivated while waiting. He was looking forward to the cursed land. However, entering the cursed lands and whether one could gain anything from it still depended on luck. This was because before the Myriad tribulation, someone had entered the Yellow Springs world. However, it was too long ago before the Myriad tribulation. The Heaven realm was probably still in the earliest primordial era. At that time, there were probably not many powerful people, and there were probably not many living creatures that came in. There might be many cursed lands that had not been explored. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. Liao Min had something important to report to Lu Ming. Commander, there are more than 10 people outside saying that they are from your hometown and they want to see you. Liao Min said. From the same hometown? Lu Ming's eyes lit up. Wasn't his fellow villager from the Heaven realm? Quickly let them in. Lu Ming instructed. Yes. Liao Min nodded and left. A moment later he came in with 12 people. Senior 6 saints. Lu Ming's eyes lit up when he saw one of them. He went forward to greet him. These people were beings from the heaven realm. Lu Ming recognized one of the elders. He was Heavenly Venerate's 6 sages, a 4-star heavenly emperor powerhouse who guarded the 2-world city. Back then, he had met Lu Ming a few times. Apart from Heavenly Venerate's 6 sages, Lu Ming did not recognize the rest of the people. Judging by their cultivation, they were at the Celestial Emperor realm and Great Emperor realm. Among them, Heavenly Venerate's 6 sages' cultivation was the highest. Liao Min, you guys can leave. Lu Ming instructed Liao Min and the rest to leave. After Liao Min and the others left, only Lu Ming, 6 sages, and the others were left in the hall. Senior, are you also in the vicinity of Feng Ming? Lu Ming asked. No, we're here to look for you. Heavenly Venerate's 6 sages sighed. Lu Ming, I'm afraid that Feng Ming country is no longer safe. What's going on? Lu Ming's expression changed slightly. The foreign race has already obtained the Dragon People Empire's trust and is in control of the Dragon People Empire's powerful strength. The Celestial said. Chapter 2475 Entering the Cursed Land, Dragon People Empire. Upon hearing this name, Lu Ming's expression changed, and he looked solemn. During this period of time, he had looked up a lot of information in the capital of Feng Ming, so he naturally knew about the Dragon Man Empire. This was a powerful empire that was far stronger than the country of Feng Ming. There were many countries and forces in the Yellow Springs world. These countries and forces were divided into 4 levels according to their strength. The first level was like the Feng Ming Kingdom, where the strongest was a 4-star heavenly emperor or even a 5-star heavenly emperor. This level of power was the lowest level. The second level was where there were 6-star heavenly emperors or even peak 7-star heavenly emperors. Such a force was much stronger than the country of Feng Ming. The third level had an invincible master. What was an invincible master? In the heaven realm, the primal chaos emperor and the undying emperor were invincible. They were half a step into the martial god realm. They were invincible below the martial god realm, and their strength was even stronger. Titan, a peak heavenly emperor. This was the invincible master. There weren't many of such forces in the Yellow Springs world. The fourth level, which was the strongest force, was the force with a martial god. On the surface, there was only one force like this in the entire Yellow Springs world, which was the Yellow Springs Empire, which occupied a large territory in the center of the Yellow Springs world. The Yellow Springs Empire had a martial god, and there was more than one. He was truly supreme and commanded the 8 directions. The Dragon Man Empire was a second-tier power, and it had a peak heavenly emperor. Its strength was many times stronger than the Feng Ming Kingdom. And Feng Ming country was a small country near the Dragon People Empire. Now, the foreign race had actually obtained great power in the Dragon Man Empire. Right now, the foreign races have borrowed the strength of the Dragon Man Empire to sweep through some of the surrounding small countries. Many of our heaven realms people have died at the hands of the foreign races. We've just escaped. I heard that the commander of the country of Feng Ming is called Lu Ming. I guess that it was you. So I rushed over to take a look. The Celestial said. In that case, I'm afraid that the foreign tribes will soon send experts to Feng Ming. Lu Ming said. I'm afraid so. It said that Feng Ming country has a cursed land. There aren't many small countries around the Dragon People Empire that have a cursed land. They'll definitely be targeted by the other party. The Celestial said. Lu Ming muttered to himself. After a while, he said, it's too much of a pity to leave now. King Feng Ming has already agreed to let me enter the cursed land. Let's wait a little longer. Once we enter the cursed land and take away the opportunities inside, we'll leave immediately. All right, let's do that. Heavenly Venerate's 6 sages and the others nodded in agreement. It would be a waste if he didn't take the opportunity. Moreover, he couldn't leave it for the alien race. Heavenly Venerate's 6 sages and the others would be staying in the governor's manor. Fortunately, they did not have to wait long. 2 days later, King Fengming sent someone to call for Lu Ming. Lu Ming brought 6 sages and the rest to the palace. Who are they? King Fengming looked curiously at 6 sacred heavenly venerate and the others. They're my friends. Let's enter the cursed land together. I don't know if there are any dangers in the cursed land, but the more people we have, the higher our chances of success. Lu Ming said. That's good too. However, we can't change our share, said King Fengming. Naturally. Lu Ming nodded. Come with me, King Fengming said. Then he led a group of people towards the northern side of the palace. After leaving the palace, they arrived at a dense forest. After passing through the forest and a canyon, they saw a tall mountain. Of course, along the way, there were powerhouses standing guard. The cursed land is right in front of us. You guys can go in. As for whether there's any danger inside, I don't know, said King Fengming. Lu Ming nodded. Then they walked forward. There was a stone door at the foot of the mountain in front of them. It was half open, and it was pitch black inside. Everyone slowed down and approached carefully. They didn't know if there was any danger in the cursed land, so they naturally didn't dare to be careless. Heavenly Venerate's 6th saint, who had the highest cultivation base, walked in front as the group carefully entered the gate. Behind the door was a passage, and it was so quiet that not a single sound could be heard. The group advanced carefully. This passageway was very long, at least a few thousand meters. After passing through the passageway, they would arrive at a huge underground cave. The cave was empty, with nothing inside. There were some stone doors around the cave. The group did not split up. They still gathered together and walked towards some stone doors. Behind the first stone door was a secret room, but there was nothing inside. The group came to the second stone door, which was also a secret room, but it was also empty. Everyone looked at each other. Could it be that this cursed land had already been visited by someone before the Myriad tribulation, and everything inside had been swept clean? The crowd was unwilling to give up and continued to search. Behind some of the stone doors, there was a passage. After walking in, they saw secret rooms. However, these secret rooms were all empty. Everyone looked disappointed. It seemed like they were really going to return empty-handed today. However, they were really unwilling to leave just like that. They planned to turn this place upside down and search for themselves. They continued to walk towards the stone doors that they had not searched. There's a passage behind this. There's no secret chamber, someone suddenly said. As the group walked, they found a passage that led straight ahead. The group followed this path and continued forward. After walking for an unknown distance, the passage became wider, but everyone had no choice but to stop. In front of him, there was a section of the wall and the ground that was filled with strange patterns that emitted a dim light. When these lines were put together, they looked like a huge array. Be careful! Heavenly Venerate's 6 sages reminded him before talking out a great emperor weapon and controlling it to fly forward. Buzz! When the emperor-level weapon passed through the path, the patterns suddenly glowed and countless fine threads filled the path. Some of these threads were snow-white, while some were crimson-red. They were like tiny sword chi, emitting a cold and hot aura. Yes, ice-cold and heat coexisted. The emperor weapon was enveloped by the threads and kept making ear-piercing sounds. Gotcha! In just a few breaths, the emperor weapon was covered in cracks before it exploded and turned into dust that scattered in the air. A few gasps could be heard. This was indeed a great formation, and its power was astonishing. A great emperor weapon would turn into powder in a few breaths' time. Not even a residue was left. If people went in, they would be dead. Those below the heavenly emperor realm turned pale. They knew that they couldn't go in and would stop here. They'll try. A burly man stepped out and walked forward. Chapter 2476 Sword Formation. Blocking the way, this burly man's entire body was pitch black, as if it was cast from black iron, and was filled with endless power. This burly man wasn't a human. His true form was a divine beast, a giant ape with infinite strength and strong defense. Moreover, he was a 2-star great emperor. Bang, bang. He was cautious as he walked forward step by step. Finally, he stepped into the area of the great array. Buzz! Buzz. The runes seemed to shake and light up. Countless thin threads stabbed at the man like tiny swords. Block it! The burly man roared as world energy filled his body. At the same time, he took out a few defensive Emperor weapons and charged forward. However, the power of those tiny sword chi was too strong. In the blink of an eye, at least tens of thousands of tiny sword chi had hit him. The Emperor-level weapons around him were covered in cracks in an instant before exploding and turning into dust. Ding, 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 ding. As soon as the Emperor weapon was broken, countless tiny sword chi hit the burly man. His body trembled violently, and he was stopped in his tracks. One side of his body was covered in a layer of frost, while the other side was extremely red. The burly man's expression was extremely unsightly. His body trembled and he suddenly spat out a large mouthful of blood. His aura rapidly weakened. Not good. Heavenly Venerate 6 Sage's expression changed. He rushed over and pulled the burly man out. Everyone saw that the burly man's body was covered with tiny holes, from which cold and hot air flowed out. The burly man quickly sat down cross-legged, swallowed a pill, and began to heal his injuries. He had been severely injured just now. If not for the help of the 6 sages, he would have definitely died here. The others looked solemn. The power of this grand array was also too powerful. Even a 2-star Heavenly Emperor couldn't resist it, so it would probably be the same for a 3-star Heavenly Emperor. They'll try. A 3-star Heavenly Emperor was unwilling to give up and wanted to try. Unfortunately, he couldn't do it either. His defense was quickly broken by the tiny sword chi, and he spat out a large mouthful of blood. He was in a slightly better state than the burly man from before. He had taken the initiative to retreat, but he had also suffered considerable injuries. Even a 3-star Heavenly Emperor couldn't do it, so everyone turned to look at the 6 sages. His cultivation was the highest among the people present, so they could only rely on him now. He'll do it. Heavenly Venerate 6 sages strode forward and stepped into the array. As soon as he stepped into the formation, a pagoda appeared in his hand and enveloped him within it. Then, he took a big step forward, wanting to rush over. That pagoda was a Heaven Dao soldier. However, the runes in the surroundings shone even brighter as boundless sword chi rushed towards 6 sages. In particular, the sword chi in front of him increased by several times, forming a wall of sword chi in front of him. Ding, ding, ding. The sword chi attacked the Heaven Dao soldier in a frenzy, causing it to shake violently. Bang, bang. Celestial Venerable 6 Saints unleashed his full power and a powerful aura emanated from him. Controlling the Heaven Dao soldier, he strode forward with all his might. However, every step was extremely difficult. After a few minutes, Heavenly Venerate 6 sages had only advanced less than 10 meters. One had to know that this section with the formation was a few hundred meters long. The sounds of the collision grew more and more intense, and the Heaven Dao soldiers also began to shake more and more violently. Sparks flew in all directions, and an ear-piercing sound came from the Heaven Dao soldier. Heavenly Venerate 6 Sage's expression changed drastically. Even the Heaven Dao soldiers were damaged and couldn't block it. Heavenly Venerate 6 Saints hurriedly retreated, not daring to advance. Retreating was much easier than advancing. Not long after, Heavenly Venerate 6 sages had already retreated out of the array. He hurriedly checked the Heaven Dao soldier and found that there were a few small holes on it. Heaven Dao soldiers were too hard to come by. Now that they were damaged, it would be extremely troublesome to repair them. It seems that we can't go over. It's difficult to pass this formation without the cultivation of a 6-star Heavenly Emperor or above. The others sighed. However, at this moment, a figure stepped out. Lu Ming. The others were shocked. Lu Ming actually wanted to give it a try. If even Heavenly Venerate 6 sages could not do it, how could Lu Ming? Bang, bang. Lu Ming's speed was extremely fast as he stepped into the array. Lu Ming did not use the Heaven Dao soldier. The 6 sages had already proven that the Heaven Dao soldiers were useless. Using them would only damage them. Lu Ming wanted to try it with his own strength. Bush, bush, bush. As soon as Lu Ming entered the formation, countless tiny sword auras rushed toward him. Some of the sword chi was extremely cold, while the others were extremely hot. Lu Ming felt that he was in a furnace where coldness and heat converged. Buzz! The muscles all over Lu Ming's body trembled rapidly. At the same time, he activated the imperishable golden body to block the sword chi. Ding! 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 When the sword chi stabbed Lu Ming's body, there was a piercing sound of metal clashing. Many of the sword chi were blocked. However, Lu Ming felt a sharp pain in his body as if he was being pricked by needles. Although most of the sword aura was blocked, a portion of it broke through Lu Ming's defense and pierced into his body. Lu Ming quickly activated the indestructible ancient scroll and recovered quickly. Fortunately, Lu Ming's physical body was extremely strong and his life force was exuberant. With the help of the indestructible ancient scroll, his injuries recovered very quickly. Bang! Bang! Lu Ming took a few steps forward. However, the further he went, the more sword aura he encountered. More sword chi pierced into Lu Ming's body. His recovery speed could not keep up with the speed of his injuries. "My lord!" Lu Ming growled. His entire body was covered in a purple gold light. The power of domination covered his entire body. A series of concentrated sounds rang out, and the ruler's power trembled, but it wasn't pierced. The sword chi was blocked. The power of a ruler is indeed effective. Lu Ming was overjoyed. Then he continued to stride forward. In less than a minute, Lu Ming had advanced more than 50 meters, far surpassing the previous 6 sages. So fast, what kind of power is this? It's so terrifying that it can block the attack of that sword chi. The number 1 heaven's pride in the heaven realm is indeed extraordinary and incomparable. The others sighed and hoped that Lu Ming would be able to make it. Right now, the heaven realm and the foreign kinds were at a life and death juncture. The stronger the heaven realm was, the more hope they had. Naturally, they hoped that Lu Ming would be able to walk over and gain something. Bang! Bang! Lu Ming continued to move forward. 60 meters, 70 meters, 80 meters. Lu Ming moved forward 1 meter at a time. Very soon he had walked past 100 meters. However, at this point, the power of the formation was even more terrifying. The sword chi was endless and densely packed as it blasted towards Lu Ming. Chapter 2478 Statue containing the will of a ruler in front of Lu Ming. The sword chi increased in number and formed a wall of sword chi. It kept attacking him, trying to push him back. The nominator's power that enveloped Lu Ming's body was shaking more and more violently. There were even ripples in some places. At this rate, Lu Ming would not be able to hold on for long. There was still at least 100 meters ahead. Could it be that we're going to stop here? Lu Ming thought to himself and felt a little indignant. Although he did not know what was in front of him, or perhaps it would still be empty after he passed, Lu Ming was a little unwilling to leave without taking a look since he had already come this far. The Tao of domination rules over everything, including the power of heaven and earth. It's reasonable to say that it rules over everything in the world, including this sword chi. Many thoughts flashed through Lu Ming's mind. Then his eyes lit up and he growled, "Get out of my way, my lord." He was using the Tao of Sovereign as a medium to control the sword chi through heaven and earth. Whoosh, whoosh. The sword chi flew at high speed, but when it got close to Lu Ming, it curved and flew past him. It's effective, it's really effective. Lu Ming was overjoyed. He then focused on controlling the way of domination and the sword aura. Indeed, when the sword chi neared Lu Ming, it would curve and fly past him. Lu Ming increased his speed and sped forward. This, heavenly venerates 6 sages and the others were dumbfounded. Bang! Bang! Lu Ming's speed increased exponentially as he strode forward. Although there were more and more sword chi in front of him, none of them could hit Lu Ming. Very soon, Lu Ming had crossed the distance of more than 100 meters and passed through the formation. The Tao of a sovereign is truly profound. Can it really control all things in the world? That's truly terrifying. At the thought of this, Lu Ming was secretly delighted. This way, he could even control the enemy's attacks. For example, if the opponent's attack was about to hit him, he would control it and attack the enemy instead. What kind of scene would that be? However, Lu Ming also understood that this had something to do with one's cultivation and strength. If the sword formation was stronger, Lu Ming would not be able to control it. Similarly, if the opponent's combat strength was too strong, Lu Ming would also find it difficult to control. Everything was still related to his own strength. Everyone, Lu Ming will go to the front and take a look. Lu Ming said to 6 sages and the rest. Go, be careful. The celestial said. Lu Ming nodded and continued to move forward along the passageway. Not long after, they reached the end of the passage. At the end of the passage was a stone room. The stone room was empty. Lu Ming looked disappointed. It seemed that he would have to return empty-handed again. Wait a minute. All of a sudden, Lu Ming's gaze was cast on a statue against the wall of the stone room. This statue was a young man. This person was very handsome and looked to be in his 20s. His hands were behind his back, and his eyes were like stars. He exuded a domineering intent realm. That's right. It was the will of a ruler. It was very similar to the way of a ruler that Lu Ming had comprehended. How could this be? This intent is definitely the Tao of domination. Lu Ming muttered, his eyes filled with shock. At this moment, he let his imagination run wild, and many thoughts flashed through his mind. Could it be that there was someone else in the world who had comprehended the Tao of a sovereign? He couldn't help but think back to when the foreign race's divine ancestor had seen his power and seemed to have recognized it. Also, the ancestral dragon recognized this power and called it ruler power. In the past, Lu Ming had thought that the power that he had comprehended was unique. This was because he had comprehended 10 ultimate laws and 71 king path laws before he could comprehend the ruler's path. Now, it seemed that it was possible that someone else had comprehended the Tao of a ruler. The owner of this statue must have also comprehended the Tao of a ruler, or else the ruler's intent wouldn't be so dense. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. It wasn't a bad thing for him that someone else had comprehended the ruler's path. If he was the only one who had comprehended the Tao of domination, then he could only rely on himself to blindly explore. If someone else had comprehended the Tao of domination, then he would have a ready-made path to walk on. The will of a sovereign emanating from this statue will be of great use to me. Lu Ming's eyes brightened. He immediately sat down cross-legged and controlled the way of a sovereign. The power of a sovereign spread toward the statue. Buzz. It seemed to have resonated with Lu Ming's Tao of domination. The statue shook slightly and a layer of purple-gold light emanated from it. At this moment, Lu Ming seemed to see a young man with his hands behind his back. He was unparalleled in his style and he ruled the world. At this moment, Lu Ming's understanding of the way of the master was slowly deepening. Just as Lu Ming was comprehending the ruler's Tao, outside the cursed land, King Feng Ming was standing guard with a group of people. He was waiting for Lu Ming to come out. At this moment, a middle-aged man flew over with a panicked expression. Country ruler, something bad has happened. The middle-aged man shouted anxiously from a distance. What's the matter? King Feng Ming frowned. Country ruler, the Yuan Hai country, the Great Yen country, and the Bright Moon country have joined forces and sent their armies to attack our Feng Ming country. We already have 18 cities that have been occupied by the other party. The middle-aged man reported. What? King Feng Ming turned pale with fright. How is that possible? These 3 countries all have enmity with each other. How could they join forces to attack my country of Feng Ming? King Feng Ming simply couldn't believe it. Report. At this moment, another burly man flew over. What is it? King Feng Ming said anxiously. Country ruler, the messengers from the Source Ocean country, the Bright Moon country, and the Great Yen country want to see you. The burly man reported. Meet him, quickly meet him. He's just outside the capital. King Feng Ming quickly said. Then he hurriedly brought his men back. 2 days later, Monarch Feng Ming met with the emissaries from the 3 kingdoms outside the capital. To his shock, King Feng Ming discovered that beside the 3 envoys, there were a few strange-looking people. These people all had 3 eyes. If Lu Ming was here, he would have known at a glance that these people were from the evil god race. The emissaries from the other nations were all followed by people from the evil god tribe. Furthermore, There was a 4-star heavenly emperor from the evil god tribe beside each emissary. "Everyone, I wonder why you all want to join forces to attack my Feng Ming country?" asked King Feng Ming. In particular, the Bright Moon country, which had a good relationship with the Feng Ming country, had come to attack the Feng Ming country, which made him confused. "We're just following orders," the envoy from the Bright Moon country said. "Following orders?" King Feng Ming was shocked. "That's right. A lord from the Dragonman Empire has ordered your Feng Ming kingdom's cursed land to allow these outsiders to enter the cursed land." The envoy from the Mingyue kingdom pointed at the evil god race and said. Chapter 2478 Crisis Translator 549690339 An outsider? It's a person from beyond the heavens. King Feng Ming's heart moved as he understood. There were definitely people from beyond the heavens who had been valued by the Dragonman Empire's big shots or had cooperated with them to enter some cursed lands and obtain the treasures inside. Just like the cooperation between him and Lu Ming, emissaries, I'm afraid you're too late. Someone has already entered the cursed land, explained King Feng Ming. Someone went in? Who was it? What does he look like? A purple-haired member of the evil god race asked. He was a member of the royal race of the evil god race. In fact, the number of foreign royal clans that came to Netherworld Mountain this time was relatively large. That person's name is Lu Ming. Country ruler Feng Ming described Lu Ming's name and appearance. Lu Ming, it's Lu Ming. So it's Lu Ming. Very good. The divine ancestor has given the order to kill Lu Ming without mercy. A few of the foreign kinds spoke one after another, and their 3 eyes glowed with a cold light. "You, bring us to the cursed land. Otherwise, the country of Feng Ming will be destroyed." One of the evil god race members said. Yes, it'll take you there now. Don't worry." King Feng Ming hurriedly nodded. He had no choice. The other party was sent by the Dragonman Empire and he did not dare to disobey. There were experts at the peak of the void transformation stage guarding the Dragon People Empire. As for those at the 4th level void transformation stage and above, there were even more of them. He was the only 4th level void transformation stage martial artist in the Feng Ming country. If he went against the Dragon People Empire, only death awaited him. "Lu Ming, don't blame me for turning my back on you. You can only blame your bad luck for offending someone you shouldn't have," King Feng Ming said awkwardly. Following that, he brought the emissaries from the other kingdoms and the experts from the evil god tribe towards the cursed land. Soon, they arrived outside the cursed land. "Are there any dangers in this cursed land?" the royal member of the evil god tribe asked. "I don't know about this." King Feng Ming shook his head. He wasn't sure about this. There was no record of this in the ancient records. Generally, cursed lands are dangerous. I suggest that we stand guard outside and let Lu Ming take the risk inside to help us clear the way. It's best if he dies inside. If he doesn't die and comes out with an opportunity, it'll be beneficial to us. What do you think? One of the evil god race members said. Good, that's great. Lu Ming got some opportunities and came out in high spirits. I wonder what his expression will be when he finds out that he's an Oriole behind him? Haha. A few members of the evil god race started laughing. Everyone, apart from Lu Ming, there are some other people. One of them is an expert at the 4th level of the void transformation stage. Why don't we? King Feng Ming rolled his eyes and offered a conspiracy. Good, huh? The evil god tribe members laughed after hearing this. Lu Ming knew nothing about the outside world. He was fully focused on comprehending the way of the ruler. In the blink of an eye, half a month had passed, and Lu Ming felt that he had gained a lot. Meditating on the Tao of a ruler for half a month here was comparable to fumbling around outside for a few years. Let Heavenly venerate 6 sages and the others know. They'll probably still need some time to comprehend it. Lu Ming pondered. Although he did not obtain anything here, to Lu Ming, there was nothing more useful than this statue. This was his chance. When Lu Ming returned to the edge of the formation, he realized that 6 sages and the rest were still there. Lu Ming explained the situation inside. Lu Ming, go and cultivate. They'll wait for you here. While you're at it, They'll take a look at the other places and search. The Celestials said. They hadn't completely searched the cursed land before. While Lu Ming was in seclusion, they could do a thorough search. Many thanks, Senior. Lu Ming nodded and returned to the statue to continue comprehending the way of the master. Time flew by, and 3 months had passed. Lu Ming's understanding of the way of the master had improved greatly. Lu Ming felt that as long as he had enough resources, he would be able to break through and reach 4-star Great Emperor. Lu Ming planned to find a place to break through after he went out. Unfortunately, the ruler's will on this statue is limited. I've already comprehended most of it. Lu Ming sighed. He felt that even if he continued to study it, he wouldn't be able to make much of a difference. Gotcha. At that moment, a crack suddenly appeared on the statue. The cracks were very thin at first, but they quickly grew longer and larger. In the end, the cracks were like a spider's web, densely covering the statue. Bang! In the end, the entire statue exploded and turned into ashes. Lu Ming was dumbfounded. What was going on? Could it be that if he completely comprehended the ruler's will on the statue, it would collapse? This was the only explanation that made sense. Otherwise, Lu Ming really could not figure it out. When the statue exploded, a strong fragrance filled the air. Lu Ming discovered that there was a pit under the statue. There was a plant in the pit. The plant was bare and had no leaves. It only had a trunk, and on the trunk hung a bright red fruit. The fruit was crystal clear and had a treasure light flowing around it. It gave off a strong medicinal fragrance. What kind of fruit is this? It's so rich in life essence. Lu Ming tried to identify it, but he could not identify what this plant was. He had come into contact with all kinds of spirit herbs, saint herbs, and emperor herbs, but there was no such record. However, the life essence in this fruit was really too rich. It was so rich that it was shocking. If I refine this fruit, I'm afraid I can make a breakthrough in my physical body. Lu Ming had a thought in his mind. At the thought of this, his eyes lit up. If he could make another breakthrough in his body and cultivate the 7 gods' mysterious technique to the middle of the 6th level, he would be able to suppress an ordinary 4-star heavenly emperor with his physical strength alone. He would even be able to fight against the 4th level void transformation stage in Netherworld Mountain. With the Tao of a ruler, his battle power would increase dramatically. Refine. Lu Ming made a prompt decision and walked over. He observed carefully and found no danger. Lu Ming uprooted the plant and plucked the fruit. He planted the root in his own small world. Lu Ming sat cross-legged, holding the fruit and observing it for a while. The fruit was the size of a fist, and it was overflowing with life essence. Lu Ming gritted his teeth and swallowed the fruit in one bite. Boom! The moment the fruit entered Lu Ming's body, it was like a volcanic eruption. Waves of scorching energy erupted and rushed into Lu Ming's limbs and bones. What a shocking amount of energy! Good. Lu Ming was not shocked. Instead, he was happy. Now, his physical body was equivalent to the heavenly emperor realm. It was too difficult to break through. One had to know that once his physical body broke through, he would have to cross several levels. The amount of energy required was simply too much, so much that it was shocking. The more energy the fruit contained, the more confident he would be in breaking through. Chapter 2480 Strength Increase. Boom. 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 The fiery red fruit exploded in Lu Ming's body like a volcano, turning into waves that surged into his limbs and bones. It was as if Lu Ming's physical body was wrapped in endless lava and was about to melt. Waves of pain spread throughout his body. The energy contained in the fiery red fruit was truly shocking. Even with Lu Ming's current physical body, he could not withstand it and was about to be torn apart. The indestructible ancient scroll, the power of a sovereign. Lu Ming growled as he circulated the indestructible ancient scroll to heal his injuries. At the same time, he circulated his ruler's Tao. The path of domination was to dominate everything. Lu Ming tried to dominate the energy and control it from there. It was indeed useful. Under the path of a ruler, the energy became much more docile. Then, Lu Ming circulated the mysterious 7 gods technique. His muscles, bones, and bones vibrated at 10 billion times per second to refine the energy. Streams of energy were like the water of a river, flowing into Lu Ming's body. With every vibration, endless energy was used up and refined. It seeped into Lu Ming's muscles, bones, strengthening his body. Lu Ming's physical body was improving rapidly. It was a true speed, much faster than when he cultivated in the dragon essence pool in the lair of Zulong. The energy of the lair of Zulong was relatively mild. However, the energy of this fruit was extremely violent. Fortunately, it was Lu Ming. If someone else had swallowed the entire fruit, they would have exploded and died. However, the berserk state brought about a rapid improvement in his physical body. Refine, refine, refine. Lu Ming put all his effort into refining it. Very soon, a month had passed. Boom. Before the energy from the fruit was completely refined, Lu Ming's body shook like thunder. He had broken through. His physical body had broken through to the middle of the 6th stage of the 7 gods' mysterious skill now. Lu Ming's physical strength alone was enough to suppress a 4-star heavenly emperor. His combat strength had increased greatly. There was still some residual energy in his body. Lu Ming continued to operate the 7 gods' mysterious technique to refine all the remaining energy. The remaining energy was naturally not enough for Lu Ming's physical body to continue breaking through, but it could be consolidated. A few days later, Lu Ming refined all the energy and ended his cultivation. Lu Ming revealed a smile on his face. Lu Ming had already gained a lot from this trip to the Cursed Land. What could be better than a deeper mastery of the Tao of Domination, a breakthrough in the physical body, and a great increase in strength? Bang! Lu Ming took a step forward and walked back. Very soon, Lu Ming was near the sword formation. There were only a few people on the other side of the sword formation. Lu Ming has come out. The few of them smiled when they saw Lu Ming. Bang! Lu Ming strode forward and charged into the sword array. When Lu Ming charged into the sword array, the array lit up again and tiny sword chi appeared, rushing toward Lu Ming. This tune, Lu Ming did not even use the way of the ruler. He relied on his physical body and the indestructible ancient scroll to block the sword chi attack. Lu Ming dashed out for 100 meters before he began to cast the way of the master. He controlled the sword chi and rushed out of the sword formation. "Everyone, where are the 6 saints?" Lu Ming asked. "They're waiting for you outside," one of them said. Lu Ming nodded and followed the few of them. On the way, Lu Ming learned that they did not have any other gains in this cursed land. It was obvious that this cursed land had already been plundered before the Myriad tribulation. After passing through the passage, they arrived at the huge stone chamber and saw Heavenly Venerate's 6 sages and the others. After casually chatting for a while, the group walked out. After a while, they left the cursed land and from afar, they saw Monarch Feng Ming waiting with a group of people. "Ha, Commander Lu, you're finally out." From afar, King Feng Ming came over to welcome him with a face full of smiles. "Your Majesty!" Lu Ming cupped his fists. "Commander Lu, how was your trip to the cursed lands?" King Feng Ming asked with a smile. "Sigh, country ruler, to be honest, I'm returning empty-handed this time." Lu Ming sighed. "Return empty-handed?" King Feng Ming's expression changed slightly. "That's right. I'm afraid that someone has already entered this cursed land before the Myriad tribulation. If you don't believe me, my lord, Lu Ming can swear an oath." Lu Ming said. "Ah, what oath?" "Of course I believe in the commander. Let's go back and welcome you back. This Tao brother, please." King Feng Ming laughed and extended his hand to invite 6 sacred Heavenly Venerate. Heavenly Venerate's 6 sages had not been on guard. Buzz. At this moment, King Feng Ming suddenly made his move. A combat sword appeared in his palm and he stabbed it towards 6 sages. At such a close distance, Heavenly Venerate's 6 sages was completely unprepared. He had never expected that King Feng Ming would suddenly attack him. It was already too late for him to dodge. The long sword had pierced through 6 sacred Heavenly Venerate's heart. Roar! Heavenly Venerate's 6 sages roared and struck out with both palms. King Feng Ming pulled out his sword and retreated. Heavenly Venerate's 6th saint fell to the ground and vomited blood. He had been severely injured. Lu Ming and the rest were shocked by the suddenness of the situation. They moved quickly and surrounded the sixth saint. "Why are you doing this?" Lu Ming looked at country ruler Feng Ming coldly. "To get rid of you, of course." The one who spoke was not country ruler Feng Ming, but someone else. Buzz. In the surroundings, figures flashed and appeared one after another. "It's the evil god tribe." The other people in the heaven realm were in an uproar. "It's indeed the evil god tribe." Lu Ming narrowed his eyes. When he saw the evil god race, he understood everything. The evil god tribe must have arrived after they entered, and King Feng Ming must have surrendered immediately. He must have pretended to be talking to Lu Ming and the others to launch a sneak attack. This was because, to Emperor Feng Ming's knowledge, the six sages were a threat. That was why he had launched a sneak attack and eliminated the six sages first. At the very least, he had to injure them severely. This way, Lu Ming and the others would be like turtles in a jar. "Lu Ming, the divine ancestor has ordered us to kill you without mercy. You can go in peace." "Haha, well, be valued by the divine ancestor after killing you." "Lu Ming, your death was worth it." The evil god tribe members laughed. "You think you can kill me?" Lu Ming said coldly. "Oh, do you want others to save you? I'm telling you, don't even think about it. Your useless subordinates are all here." One of them sneered, and with a wave of his hand, a few heads fell to the ground. "Liao Min Mufan." Lu Ming's eyes reddened at the sight of the heads, and an icy cold killing intent emanated from him. "Liao Min Mufan." They were all Lu Ming's guards. They had followed Lu Ming from the beginning and did not betray him. However, they were killed by the other party. He was furious. "Today, all of you will die." Lu Ming's voice was extremely cold. Finally, he looked at King Feng Ming and said, "Your Feng Ming country will be destroyed." Chapter 2481. Killing King Feng Ming. As Lu Ming's cold gaze swept across him, country ruler Feng Ming could not help but shiver. Then, he took a deep breath and revealed a ferocious expression. "You? I'll kill you now." "Buzz." Country master Feng Ming made his move. A bright sword light slashed toward Lu Ming. Monarch Feng Ming had a cultivation base at the 4th level void transformation stage. In the heaven realm, he was equivalent to a peerless expert at the 4-star heavenly emperor stage. His battle prowess was much stronger than a 3-star heavenly emperor. The sword gleam was extremely sharp, and it neared Lu Ming in an instant. Boom! Lu Ming immediately threw a punch at an astonishing speed, accurately hitting the blade of Feng Ming's sword. The combat sword in Feng Ming's hand trembled continuously, and his body shook violently as well. He was forced to retreat dozens of steps before he could stabilize himself. "Your battle power, how did you?" King Feng Ming was extremely shocked. In the previous move, he felt that Lu Ming's strength had completely surpassed his. How was this possible? A few months ago, he had seen Lu Ming and Rama fight. Back then, Lu Ming was stronger than Rama, but not by much. He was confident that he could take down or even kill Lu Ming. He did not expect that in just a few months, Lu Ming's ability had surpassed him. How was this possible? One must know that at their level of cultivation, it was extremely difficult to improve even a little bit. It would take a long time, so how could it be improved in a few months? The Cursed Land. He must have obtained a supreme opportunity in the Cursed Land. That's why his combat strength has increased so much. King Feng Ming thought to himself. "Kill him. We must kill him and take his fortune." King Feng Ming roared in his heart. The original battle sword in his hand disappeared and was replaced by a black battle sword. Buzz! The battle sword shook, and the sword chi soared to the sky. "This is a Heaven Dao soldier." Lu Ming's heart stirred. They weren't exactly Heaven Dao soldiers either, as their weapons didn't contain the power of the Heaven Dao. However, their grade was equivalent to that of a Heaven Dao soldier. As the ruler of a country and with a cultivation at the 4th level void transformation stage, it was normal for King Feng Ming to have a weapon that was equivalent to a Heaven Dao soldier. Buzz! King Feng Ming moved again and charged at Lu Ming. As for the other foreign races, they didn't make a move. With King Feng-ming leading the way, they were happy to sit back and enjoy the fruits of his labor. They blocked the way in all directions to prevent Lu Ming and the rest from escaping. The Great Desolation Spear appeared in Lu Ming's hands. His body emitted a purple-gold light and he swept the spear out. This time, Lu Ming used all his strength. The power of his physical body, the power of a ruler, and the power of the Great Desolation Spear. Boom! The two of them collided once again. Buzz! The battle sword in King Feng-ming's hand trembled madly as a terrifying power charged towards King Feng-ming. King Feng-ming immediately spat out a large mouthful of blood as his body was sent flying. His eyes were wide open in disbelief. He had already used all his strength, but he was still vulnerable in front of Lu Ming. Kill! Lu Ming's aura was like a rainbow. His muscles trembled and his body burst out, charging towards King Feng-ming at an extremely fast speed. The people inside Netherworld Mountain were stronger than those outside. The strength of country ruler Feng-ming was also slightly stronger than the ordinary 4-star heavenly emperor outside. On the other hand, Lu Ming had cultivated the Seven Gods' mysterious technique to the middle of the 6th stage. He could suppress an ordinary 4-star heavenly emperor with his physical strength alone. Therefore, he was on par with King Feng-ming in terms of physical strength. King Feng-ming had a combat sword that was equivalent to a Heaven Dao soldier, while Lu Ming had the Great Desolation Spear. The two of them were equal. However, Lu Ming had the power of the Path of Domination. Once he erupted, he completely crushed King Feng-ming. Boom! The Great Desolation Spear trembled and became incomparably huge as it struck towards country ruler Feng-ming. Country ruler Feng-ming turned pale with fright as he raised his battle sword to block. The Great Desolation Spear struck the battle sword of country ruler Feng-ming heavily. The terrifying power caused country ruler Feng-ming's arm to explode. His combat sword flew out of his hand and flew out. Lu Ming used his ruler's power and put away his opponent's combat sword. As for country ruler Feng-ming's body, he was like a meteorite as he crashed into the ground. Boom! The earth trembled as King Feng-ming smashed a huge hole in the ground. He spat out blood continuously. Everyone around them was dumbfounded. The powerful country ruler Feng-ming could not even withstand a single blow from Lu Ming. Not good, let's join forces and kill him. One of the alien races roared. Attack! The other alien races also roared and charged at Lu Ming. There were a total of 3 4-star heavenly emperors. The others were 3-star heavenly emperors, 2-star heavenly emperors, and 1-star heavenly emperors. A total of 9 alien races charged toward Lu Ming. From all directions, a series of attacks were blasted toward Lu Ming. However, Lu Ming did not take it head-on. Instead, he turned into a stream of light and fell to the ground. His entire person was like a long spear, stabbing towards King Feng-ming. No! King Feng-ming roared. However, he was severely injured. Even if he wanted to dodge, he couldn't. Bang! Lu Ming's footsteps landed heavily on country ruler Feng-ming's body. His entire body exploded and turned into ashes under the terrifying and violent power. Only a storage ring flew out and was caught by Lu Ming. Bang! Following that, Lu Ming stomped heavily on the ground. The ground shook and a huge pit was blasted out. It was covered with cracks that looked like cobwebs. Lu Ming's body soared into the sky and he thrust the Great Desolation Spear. Bush, bush, bush. Rays of spear radiance pierced through the heavens and earth, piercing towards the foreign kinds. The 1-star, 2-star, and even 3-star heavenly emperors couldn't resist at all. They were pierced through by the spear radiance and died in the air. Only the 3 4-star heavenly emperors could block it. However, their bodies shook violently and they were sent flying by Lu Ming. Individually, these 3 4-star heavenly emperors were not as strong as King Feng-ming. This is bad. Let's go. Well, ask a stronger person to kill Lu Ming. One of the foreign beings revealed a look of horror and turned to run. The other 2 foreign kinds ran even faster than him. Lu Ming's combat strength was not something they could match. If they did not run, they would die. The 3 of them ran in 3 different directions. Even if Lu Ming were to chase, he could only chase one person. You want to leave? Lu Ming said coldly. The purple gold light on his body became even more dazzling. My lord, Lu Ming murmured. The way of domination melded with heaven and earth. It instantly took effect on the 3 alien races, wanting to dominate them. The 3 demonic humans froze. This stiffness was enough. Lu Ming became one with the spear and turned into a purple gold spear gleam. It pierced through the void and stabbed at one of the alien races. The alien was killed by Lu Ming in the air. At this time, the other 2 demonic humans had already reacted and were extremely shocked. Just now, they had felt a powerful force acting on them from the dark, causing their bodies to freeze. Run, run, run. The 2 demonic humans were terrified and started to run away. Chapter 2482. Cultivation Base Breakthrough. It seems that my ruler's power can only affect a 4-star Heavenly Emperor expert for a moment. Lu Ming's heart stirred. He was only able to do this after he had comprehended the Nominator's will from the statue in the Cursed Land. Lu Ming's comprehension of the Nominators now had greatly improved. Otherwise, he would not have been able to do this. However, it was enough to affect a 4-star Great Emperor for a moment. For those below the 4-star Heavenly Emperor level, the impact would probably be even greater. For those with weaker cultivation, Lu Ming could dominate them and prevent them from attacking him even if he stood there without moving. Buzz. Lu Ming continued to control the way of domination and used it on the remaining 2 alien races. The bodies of the 2 demonic humans froze again. No, no. The 2 demonic humans roared in their hearts. A ray of spear light shot out, and a foreign being was killed. Next, there was only 1 alien left. He had already lost the thought of running away and attacked Lu Ming madly. The result was destined. He was killed in the air by Lu Ming after a few moves. Lu Ming put away all the storage bracelets and rings of the alien races. Around him, the subordinates of country ruler Feng Ming dispersed in an uproar. Heavenly venerates 6 sages and the rest of the heavenly realm were all dumbfounded. Including monarch Feng Ming, there were a total of 4 4-star great emperors. All of them were killed by Lu Ming. Not a single one of them managed to escape. Lu Ming's methods were simply strange and unpredictable. Senior 6 saints, how are your injuries? Lu Ming walked over and asked. Good, it's already stabilized. The Celestial said. Just now, he was heavily injured by country ruler Feng Ming. Fortunately, his head and dantian weren't attacked. Although his injuries were severe, they weren't life-threatening. With his peerless expert life force and astonishing recovery speed, he had already stabilized himself. Then, let's go, we're going to rob the Feng Ming Imperial Palace. Lu Ming's eyes flashed with a cold glint. Let's go. The others also revealed ferocious expressions. They immediately flew toward the palace. When they arrived at the Imperial Palace, it was already in complete chaos. The news of King Feng Ming's death had already spread. The experts in the palace were in complete chaos and began to snatch the treasures of the palace. In order to snatch treasures, they killed each other, and the Imperial Palace was in a state of slaughter. Kill! When Lu Ming and the rest arrived, they immediately charged in. They specifically chose Heavenly Emperor realm powerhouses to kill. In Feng Ming country, other than the 13 commanders, there were still some other Heavenly Emperor powerhouses. Lu Ming and the rest killed everyone they saw. Lu Ming had killed 2 Heavenly Emperor powerhouses in a row and snatched their storage rings. These Heavenly Emperors all had many divine stones on them. The amount of resources that Lu Ming would need for his cultivation in the future was too terrifying. One must know that his true cultivation base was only at the Great Emperor realm. The resources he used were comparable to other Heavenly Emperors. If he were to break through to the Heavenly Emperor realm, how much resources would he consume? Therefore, what he wanted to do most now was to stock up on resources. Run! Seeing Lu Ming and the rest charging towards them, the experts in the palace dispersed in an uproar. Lu Ming and the rest went deep into the palace and opened a treasure vault. Inside was the royal treasury, which was filled with a large amount of resources. There were all kinds of medicinal herbs, blacksmithing materials, combat weapons, and divine stones. Unfortunately, they didn't find any weapons that were equivalent to celestial sovereign weapons. The highest level was only a great sovereign weapon. There was also a large number of divine stones, which Lu Ming and the rest divided among themselves. Without a doubt, Lu Ming had the greatest credit. He took the majority of the credit and Lu Ming accepted it without any hesitation. After ransacking the palace, Lu Ming and the rest left the capital of Feng Ming and flew into the distance. They only found a hidden place to stop after flying for hundreds of thousands of miles. Heavenly Venerate's sixth saint was recuperating while Lu Ming entered the mountain and river diagram to check on his gains. Lu Ming took out the storage rings and bracelets and counted them. Most of the alien race's storage rings contained crystals that were specially used by the alien races. They were not of much use to Lu Ming. However, there were some divine stones in the alien race's storage bracelets that Lu Ming had collected. The biggest gain was still country ruler Feng Ming. Not only did King Feng Ming contribute a combat sword that was equivalent to a Heaven Dao soldier, he also contributed a large number of divine stones. In the end, Lu Ming piled all the divine stones into a pile and counted them. There were about 30 million pieces. 30 million divine stones, each of which was equivalent to 10,000 supreme-grade raw stones. It was an amazing fortune. Now, I can break through my cultivation. Lu Ming smiled. His comprehension of the path of a ruler had already reached the standard. He could make a breakthrough in his cultivation now. Once he did, he would reach 4-star Great Emperor and his combat strength would increase exponentially. With a wave of his hand, Lu Ming took out a large number of divine stones and began to absorb the energy inside the divine stones to break through. This time, Lu Ming did not use chaos gems to break through. He planned to use divine stones. He only had about 10,000 chaos gems left. He planned to keep them for now. They might be useful in the future. Bang, bang, bang. Piles and piles of divine stones exploded and turned into the unique divine chi of the netherworld world, which was absorbed by Lu Ming. Lu Ming circulated the path of domination and refined it with all his might, transforming the energy into world energy. Lu Ming began to break through to 4-star Great Emperor. In the blink of an eye, 2 months had passed. The aura on Lu Ming's body had increased dramatically. His entire body was shrouded in a purple gold light, and he looked extremely noble. After 2 months of cultivation, Lu Ming finally broke through and his cultivation level reached 4-star Great Emperor. The area of the small world in his body expanded by a huge circle. The world energy was even more robust, and the ruler's energy mixed in with the world energy was also a bit thicker. Lu Ming's combat strength had increased tremendously. Now, he could suppress a 4-star Celestial the Arch with just the Tao of Domination. With the combination of the Tao of Domination and his physical body, Lu Ming could even kill a 5-star Celestial the Arch. The truly powerful one was still the Tao of Domination. One should know that Lu Ming's current cultivation was only at the 4 stars Great Emperor realm. He could cross a large realm to kill an enemy. His potential for improvement was huge. How powerful would he be when he entered the Heavenly Emperor realm in the future? Would he be able to compete with the martial god? Lu Ming was very much looking forward to this. After ending his cultivation, Lu Ming exited the mountain and river diagram. Lu Ming, you've made another breakthrough in your cultivation. Sensing Lu Ming's aura, Celestial Venerable 6 Sages was shocked. I broke through by luck. Lu Ming smiled faintly. Heavenly Venerate's 6 sages and the others gasped. A breakthrough by luck? They laughed bitterly. Why didn't the others get this lucky? They were already in awe of Lu Ming. At such a young age, Lu Ming could already kill a 4-star Heavenly Emperor in a row. Now that he had a breakthrough in his cultivation, how powerful would his combat strength be? One had to know that a 4-star Heavenly Emperor was already known as a Celestial Venerable in the Heaven realm. Lu Ming was now able to kill Celestial Venerables in succession. He was almost at the peak of this world. In a few more years, he would probably be unrivaled. They knew that they were witnessing the rapid rise of an invincible figure. Chapter 2483 Impersonating a Dragon Man. Lu Ming, what's your plan next? The Heavenly Venerate asked. Go to the Dragon Man Empire. Lu Ming said. Previously, when he had checked the ancient records, he had found out that there was a cursed land in the Dragon Man Empire that was much bigger than the cursed land in Fengming country. Go to the Dragon Man Empire? The faces of Heavenly Venerate's 6 sages and the others changed. Lu Ming, there's a 6-star Celestial the Arch from another race in the Dragon Man Empire. He's also trusted by the Dragon Man Empire. I reckon he's exploring that cursed land. 6 sages said with a grave expression. A 6-star Heavenly Emperor was too powerful. One more step and he would be a peak Heavenly Emperor. I want fight them head-on. I'll disguise myself and go over to check out the situation. If they've already plundered the cursed land, I'll leave immediately. If they haven't, we might be able to take advantage of the chaos and reap some benefits. Lu Ming said with a smile. In that case, we'll go with you. We don't know where to go anyway. The Celestial said. The others nodded in agreement. They really didn't know where to go now. Alright, why don't we do this? You guys enter my small world first. I'll go alone and change my appearance. It'll be easier for me to move around. Lu Ming said. Alright, let's do that. Heavenly Venerate's 6 sages and the rest nodded and entered Lu Ming's small world. After everyone had entered the small world, Lu Ming cast the Divine Breath technique and his body began to transform into a dark-skinned youth. He left the place and headed towards the Dragon People Empire. The Dragon Man Empire was separated from Fengming country by a small country. Lu Ming traveled at full speed and took 3 days to arrive at the Dragon Man Empire. The Dragon Man Empire was extremely vast, at least 10 times larger than Fengming country. There were many races in the Dragon Man Empire. There were humans, snake people, and so on. However, the most numerous race was the Dragon Man race. The dragon men had 2 dragon horns on their foreheads and a long dragon tail. Some of them even had dragon scales on their bodies. Other than that, they were no different from ordinary people. Lu Ming was walking in a city. He was secretly amazed at the dragon men. These dragon men were half human and half dragon, and they emitted a strong dragon chi. They were all burly and above 2 meters tall. There are so many races in Netherworld Mountain. Senior Ancestral Dragon said that Netherworld Mountain came from beyond the sky. What kind of place is beyond the sky? Myriad tribes contending for hegemony? Lu Ming's thoughts were flying and his imagination was running wild. He was very curious about that outer space. I have the blood essence of the 9 dragons, and I've cultivated the dragon god combat body. I've also refined some dragon marrow before, so I also have strong dragon chi in my body. Why don't I disguise myself as a dragon man? At the thought of this, Lu Ming's eyes lit up. If he could disguise himself as a dragon man, it would be easy for him to do things in the Dragon Man Empire. Immediately, Lu Ming's body changed rapidly again. 2 dragon horns grew out of his forehead, scales appeared on his body, and a long tail grew out of his buttocks. There was also a dense dragon chi emanating from his body, just like a dragon man. Haha. Lu Ming smiled and then swaggered on the street. On the street, the creatures of other races looked at Lu Ming in awe. In the Dragon Man Empire, although there were many races, they were also divided into ranks. There was no doubt that Dragonians were respected and enjoyed special privileges wherever they went. Let's go to the capital of the Dragon Man Empire. Lu Ming smiled and flew towards the capital of the Dragon Man Empire. After a few days, Lu Ming arrived at the capital of the Dragon Man Empire. Lu Ming started to wander around the capital of the Dragon Man Empire. An evil god tribe member. After walking for a while, Lu Ming's eyes suddenly lit up. He saw an evil god tribe member. This evil god looked very young, and he had definitely cultivated for less than 10,000 years. He should be a prodigy on the longevity roll, and he was only at the Emperor realm. Lu Ming revealed a smile and walked over. You outsider, how dare you molest the beauty of my clan? You're simply courting death. Lu Ming glared at the alien and strode toward him. What? The alien was stunned. Kneel down and surrender. Lu Ming grinned and gave him a slap. The other party was shocked and wanted to resist. However, he was too far away from Lu Ming. He was slapped in the face by Lu Ming and fainted. Many Dragonians around them looked at Lu Ming curiously. This fellow molested my dragon beauty. Shouldn't he be taught a lesson? Lu Ming said casually. Yes, they should be taught a lesson. These three-eyed aliens have been very arrogant recently. They should be taught a lesson. Good lesson. You even dared to molest the beauty of my clan. You're simply despicable. Cripple him. The Dragonians shouted. Lu Ming smiled. He then grabbed the alien and strode away. After making a few rounds, he came to a remote place. There was no one around. Lu Ming stretched out his finger and touched the person's glabella. Lu Ming cast the soul-searching technique to search the person's soul and obtain information. The man's body trembled. Very soon, Lu Ming obtained some useful information. There was indeed a 6-star Heavenly Emperor realm expert from the foreign race who had obtained the attention of the Dragon Man Empire. They had cooperated with the Dragon Man Empire and entered the Cursed Land to search for treasures. They had split the treasures equally with the Dragon Man Empire. This time, the foreign races had gathered 50 to 60 experts in the Dragon Man Empire. There were quite a number of Heavenly Emperor realm experts. A few months ago, the foreign races had entered the Cursed Land, but they encountered difficulties. There were dangers and obstacles in the Cursed Land, so the non-humans were advancing very slowly. During this period of time, they had been thinking of ways to conquer the Cursed Land. In addition, the alien races had gained a lot of treasures in the areas that had been conquered. It hasn't been conquered yet. Lu Ming's eyes lit up. The Cursed Land had not been completely broken through, and the place that had been broken through had many treasures. This meant that no one had explored this Cursed Land before. There would definitely be a lot of gains inside. Lu Ming decided that he must explore this Cursed Land. Bang! Lu Ming waved his hand and a burst of energy exploded, killing the alien. Then he burned the man into ashes. Then, Lu Ming headed towards the Cursed Land. The Cursed Land was located in the mountains to the west of the Dragon People Empire's capital. Very soon, Lu Ming arrived at that place. There were many Dragonians guarding this mountain range. However, when they saw that Lu Ming was also a dragon man, they thought that he was one of their own and did not bother much. In any case, the locals of Netherworld Mountain couldn't enter the Cursed Land. Lu Ming easily crossed the mountain and arrived at his destination. Within the mountains, there was a castle. The castle covered an extremely large area. This was the Cursed Land. In the nearby area, many Dragonians were wandering around and waiting. Chapter 2484 Killing Non-Human Beings. Lu Ming swaggered over. The Dragonians did not pay much attention to him after they saw him. Lu Ming wandered around for a while and suddenly rushed toward the Cursed Land. What are you doing? You're looking for death. On the side, the Dragonians roared. The people of the Yellow Springs world had been cursed for generations. They could not enter the Cursed Lands. Once they entered, they would die. In their opinion, Lu Ming was courting death. However, Lu Ming's speed did not slow down at all. He ran wildly and approached the castle in the blink of an eye. He's fine, he's fine. The dragon men looked at each other. According to their experience, as long as they were within a certain range of the Cursed Land, they would be cursed and die on the spot. However, Lu Ming had already run to the castle and he was fine. It's fake. Damn it. He must be fake. He's pretending to be a dragon man. Detestable. On second thought, the Dragonians knew that Lu Ming was an imposter. Only outsiders could enter the Cursed Land. However, they could only watch helplessly and did not dare to pursue. The castle was huge, and the gate was open. Lu Ming rushed in directly. Behind the door was a dark passage. Lu Ming reduced his speed and advanced carefully. This Cursed Land was dangerous. However, there was no danger in this passage. When Lu Ming was about to reach the end, nothing happened. However, at the exit of the passage, there were 2 foreign races guarding it. They were stunned when they saw Lu Ming. That was because Lu Ming was still in his Dragon Man form. Could a Dragon Man enter this place? That was why they didn't know how to react. Buzz. Lu Ming took the opportunity to charge forward. His palm was like a knife, cutting horizontally. Bang, bang. With two loud bangs, the two alien races were killed by Lu Ming. He charged past them. Behind the passage was a huge platform, and in front of the platform were two wide roads. The two paths led in different directions. The road on the right was pitch black and covered in a bloody mist. It was a terrifying sight. As for the road on the left, it was also covered in white fog, blocking one's vision and making it impossible for one to see what was ahead. On the platform, there were more than a dozen foreign kinds either standing or sitting. On the road to the left, there were also a few foreign kinds standing there. Only the right path didn't have any foreign races. As soon as Lu Ming entered, more than 10 alien races looked at him in unison. Dragon Man? No, it's definitely not a Dragon Man. Someone is pretending. Who cares who he is? He doesn't have the aura of my race, so he must be from the heaven realm. Kill him. A cold aura bloomed as a cold voice sounded. Buzz! One of the four-armed alien was the first to charge at Lu Ming at an extremely fast speed. This alien had the cultivation base of a 3-star heavenly emperor, which was very powerful. However, his opponent was Lu Ming. A purple-gold light emanated from Lu Ming's body. His power of domination condensed into a long spear and he thrust it forward. It looked like Lu Ming was stabbing at the void, but as he did so, a scream was heard. The four-armed alien appeared out of thin air, his head pierced by Lu Ming. A 3-star heavenly emperor was killed instantly. Not good, this person is very strong. Let's attack together. Kill. Other than a few who were not even heavenly emperors, the rest of the alien races were all heavenly emperors. A few of them were extremely terrifying. 2 4-star heavenly emperors and 1 5-star heavenly emperor. Lu Ming no longer hid his abilities and attacked with all his might. The Great Desolation Spear appeared in his hands. Lu Ming was bathed in the purple gold light. The long spear vibrated and he stabbed a few times in succession. The 2 4-star heavenly emperors were sent flying by Lu Ming and they spat out mouthfuls of blood. The 5-star heavenly emperor's body trembled violently and he retreated. Lu Ming was unleashing his full power now. He was so powerful that even a 5-star heavenly emperor was not his match. Not good, this person is difficult to deal with, quickly call him sir. The 5-star heavenly emperor roared. Call me lord. A few of the demonic humans, who were guarding the intersection on the left, rushed into the road. Kill. Lu Ming wielded his long spear, his killing intent as sharp as a knife, and charged towards the foreign kinds. With a sweep of the long spear, a few of the foreign races were sent flying with broken bones and tendons, dying on the spot. Damn it! The 5-star heavenly emperor roared angrily. A yellow stone flew out of his third eye. It exuded a powerful aura and was thrown at Lu Ming. This is Heaven Dao soldiers? No, there's no aura of the heavenly Dao. It's a weapon of this world. Lu Ming's heart stirred. The misty yellow stone that the other party had taken out was a weapon equivalent to a heavenly Dao soldier. It was a weapon from Netherworld Mountain, and there were many wondrous formations engraved on it. As long as one injected energy into it, it would be activated. Boom. Lu Ming shook his long spear and swept it out, colliding with the stone. The rock was sent flying. The non-human 5-star heavenly emperor was also forced to retreat by Lu Ming's powerful energy. Lu Ming strode forward, his long spear stabbing out continuously. One by one, the alien races died under Lu Ming's spear. With Lu Ming's current combat strength, anyone below the level of a 4-star heavenly emperor would not be able to withstand a single blow from him. In the blink of an eye, there were only 5 or 6 of the foreign kinds left. The rest of the non-humans were terrified. They didn't dare to continue fighting and turned to run. You're looking for death. At this moment, an angry roar came from the left road. A burly figure rushed out from the road, stirring up white mist like a hurricane. He had yet to come out, but his violent aura was already pressing toward Lu Ming. 6-star heavenly emperor? Lu Ming muttered fearlessly. He strode forward and the terrifying purple-gold spear's gleam charged towards a 4-star celestial, the arch of the foreign tribe. The foreign being tried his best to block the attack, but he spat out a mouthful of blood. One of his arms exploded, and he was severely injured. "My lord, save me!" the alien shouted. "You dare!" the voice roared in the road. "Kill!" Lu Ming was very decisive. He attacked again. The spear's gleam pierced through the air and directly pierced through the injured 4-star Heavenly Emperor, killing him in the air. Buzz! At this moment, a pale white saber light slashed out from the intersection. It was shockingly powerful and the terrifying force was headed straight for Lu Ming's face. Lu Ming's arm shook and the Great Desolation spear changed its direction rapidly, blocking in front of him. Clang! There was a violent tremor and Lu Ming felt a violent force charging at him. He could not help but retreat. Then, a burly alien with a saber in his hand walked out of the intersection. This foreign being's 3 eyes glowed with a cold light, and his body exuded a powerful aura. A 6-star Heavenly Emperor. Then, with a flash, 5 or 6 figures rushed out from the road on the left, each of them an expert. 4 5-star Heavenly Emperors. Lu Ming could tell the other party's cultivation level. 1 6-star Heavenly Emperor and 4 5-star Heavenly Emperors. Chapter 2485. Revival of the Divine 9-Dragon Cauldron. A 6-star Heavenly Emperor and 4 5-star Heavenly Emperors formed a circle and surrounded Lu Ming. Their cold killing intent enveloped Lu Ming. "Heaven realm trash," the 6-star Heavenly Emperor said coldly. This was a noble of a different race. He was tall and covered in purple scales. He held a battle sword in his hand. He was wide and huge, even taller than an ordinary person. Bang! The other party made his move immediately. His burly body approached Lu Ming in an instant and his huge saber slashed out violently. The space exploded and the power was shocking. Lu Ming's entire body was covered in a bright purple-gold light as he pushed his strength to the extreme. When Lu Ming's energy was activated to the extreme, he could no longer maintain his disguise and revealed his original appearance. Buzz! The Great Desolation spear trembled violently and swept out, colliding fiercely with the opponent's saber. With a violent boom, Lu Ming was once again pushed back. Now, even if he used all his strength, he was not a match for a 6-star Heavenly Emperor. In the Heavenly Emperor realm, there was a huge gap between each level. "Lu Ming, it's you." The other party recognized Lu Ming the moment he revealed his true form. "Kill him. Let's attack together." The other 4 5-star Heavenly Emperors also roared and attacked together. 5 5-star Heavenly Emperors joined forces, and their power was extremely terrifying. Lu Ming brandished his long spear tightly and blocked the other party's attack. However, he was still forced to retreat and the chi and blood in his body were in turmoil. "Kill!" The 6-star Heavenly Emperor also rushed over and slashed out a pale saber flare. Lu Ming no longer took the attack head-on. His muscles trembled and he moved horizontally for 100 meters to avoid the other party's attack. He then rushed toward the road on the right. There was no alien race guarding that road. The 5 alien experts were in hot pursuit. Buzz! Lu Ming's speed was very fast. In an instant he arrived at the intersection. He did not stop and rushed over directly. The 5 alien races stopped. "Are we going to chase them?" a 5-star Heavenly Emperor non-human asked. "There's no need to chase. This path is more dangerous than the one on the left. It's much more difficult. If this kid goes in, he'll die. Leave 2 people here to guard. We'll continue to attack over there. If there's any movement here, inform me immediately," the 6-star Heavenly Emperor ordered. "Yes." The others nodded. They waited for a while more. Seeing that Lu Ming did not come out, a few of them returned to the left path, leaving 2 people to keep watch nearby. Lu Ming entered the path on the right and kept moving forward. This road was filled with blood-red mist, blocking the view and making it impossible to see the scenery ahead. The foreign tribe didn't chase after us. It seems that there's danger here. Lu Ming pondered. He focused his mind and covered his body with the power of domination. He held the Great Desolation Spear and walked forward carefully. After advancing for more than 10 miles, a dragon's roar suddenly came from ahead. That's right, it was a dragon's roar. This place. Could there be a true dragon? Lu Ming had some doubts. They continued forward. The dragon's roar became louder and louder. Suddenly, the fog churned and 2 blood-red lights appeared in the fog. They were like 2 blood moons. Then, a huge true dragon appeared in the fog. The true dragon was blood-red all over. Its blood-red eyes were filled with cold killing intent. A true dragon? There's actually a true dragon. Lu Ming was bewildered. This was the Netherworld Mountain, a place that came from beyond the heavens. In the heaven realm, the ancestral dragon was known as the ancestor of all true dragons. In that case, didn't that mean that true dragons only existed in the heaven realm? Could it be that there were true dragons beyond the heavens? In that case, the theory that the ancestral dragon was the ancestor of all true dragons was worth discussing. No, it's not a real body. It's an illusionary body. Then, Lu Ming's eyes flickered. He realized that this true dragon seemed to have a physical body, but there was no life aura on it. Instead, it was condensed from some kind of energy. The moment the true dragon saw Lu Ming, it roared and pounced at him. 1-star Heavenly Emperor. As soon as the true dragon made its move, Lu Ming could tell that it had the cultivation base of a 1-star Celestial Emperor. Naturally, a 1-star Heavenly Emperor was no match for Lu Ming. Lu Ming's spear struck out and the true dragon was defeated. However, after the true dragon was defeated, it turned into a wave of energy and drifted back, then condensed into a physical body again. Following that, more roars were heard. As the blood mist churned, another blood-red true dragon appeared. There were strong and weak auras, but the weakest one was a 1-star Heavenly Emperor, and the strongest was a 3-star Heavenly Emperor. As soon as the true dragons saw Lu Ming, they roared and pounced on him. Lu Ming held the Great Desolation Spear and charged over. The long spear trembled and shot out spear light. It pierced into the heads of the true dragons and crushed them. However, the moment these true dragons were defeated, they immediately condensed again. There was no way to kill them. Kill! Lu Ming rushed over and went deep in. However, he realized that more and more true dragons were appearing. Moreover, there were already more than 24-star Heavenly Emperor-level true dragons that had surrounded Lu Ming. Why are there so many true dragons? Are they dragon souls? Lu Ming made a guess. More than 20 true dragons pounced at Lu Ming continuously. After being defeated by Lu Ming, they condensed again. However, Lu Ming finally realized something. Every time the true dragons were defeated, they would become weaker. It wasn't completely unkillable. As long as he killed it a few more times, he could still kill it. Lu Ming's long spear trembled continuously. The bright and sharp spear radiance burst out continuously, blasting the true dragons apart. What? At this moment, Lu Ming's expression changed. He felt that the divine 9-dragon cauldron, which had been silent in his sea of consciousness, had actually moved. The divine 9-dragon cauldron hadn't shown any signs of change since it had used up all its energy more than 100 years ago. However, there was a change now. Could it be related to these true dragons? Lu Ming did not think and immediately summoned the divine 9-dragon cauldron. Buzz! As soon as the divine 9-dragon cauldron appeared, it began to shake violently. The dragon carving on the cauldron emitted a bright light, as if the dragon on it had come alive. Then, a loud dragon roar came from the divine 9-dragon cauldron. Then, the shadow of 9 dragons appeared, opened its mouth and roared. A terrifying devouring power was emitted from the mouths of the 9 dragons. The blood-red true dragons showed fear and wailed. But in the next moment, these blood-red true dragons actually turned into red light and flew into the mouths of the 9 dragons, disappearing. More than 20 blood-red true dragons were swallowed by the 9 dragon phantoms, regardless of their cultivation level. Buzz! The divine 9-dragon cauldron shook violently, and a powerful aura emanated from its surface. The divine 9-dragon cauldron had been revived. Lu Ming was overjoyed. Chapter 2486 Combat Power Skyrockets. Lu Ming did not expect that the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron would actually come back to life after devouring the blood-red True Dragon. It was emitting powerful fluctuations. Although it was still a lot weaker than when he was at his peak, it was still very shocking. This blood-red True Dragon is actually useful for the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron. More of it, the more the better. Lu Ming laughed heartily in his heart. He had been quite depressed because of these blood-red True Dragons, but now he couldn't wait for more to come. With a thought, Lu Ming put away the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron and continued to move forward. Roar! Dragon roars could be heard continuously. As Lu Ming went deeper, blood-red True Dragons kept appearing. Their numbers increased and their cultivation level grew stronger. Behind them, there was actually a 5-star Heavenly Emperor. However, when Lu Ming summoned the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron, it immediately devoured the blood-red True Dragons. If one didn't work, he would summon two. The path was very long. Lu Ming walked for thousands of miles before he reached the end. As for Lu Ming, several Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldrons had already been awakened. At the end of the road was a huge wasteland, and in the center of the wasteland was a huge mountain. Roar! Dragon roars reverberated through the world. So many, Lu Ming was dumbfounded. He saw many blood-red True Dragons swimming in the wilderness. At a glance, one could not tell how many there were. Their auras varied in strength. Some of them were 1-star Heavenly Emperors, while some of them were even 6-star Heavenly Emperors. Lu Ming was not shocked. Instead, he was happy. In Lu Ming's eyes, all these blood-red True Dragons were treasures. These blood-red True Dragons were simply killing stars to others. For example, to the foreign races, they were terrifying killing stars. The strongest of the foreign kinds was only a 6-star Heavenly Emperor. If they rushed here, they would probably die. No wonder there are no foreign races on the right side. It's so dangerous. At the thought of this, Lu Ming burst out laughing. In Lu Ming's eyes, these True Dragons were all tonics for the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron. If the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron was fully awakened, Lu Ming would definitely be able to unleash its full power with his current cultivation. When the blood-red True Dragons saw Lu Ming, they roared and pounced toward him. Lu Ming smiled and rushed over as well. The moment he rushed out, a huge cauldron flew out from his brow. A total of 9 cauldrons floated in the air, emitting a dazzling light. Then, they condensed into the figure of 9 dragons. They opened their mouths and burst out with a powerful devouring power. The devouring power enveloped those blood-red True Dragons. Those below the 6-star Heavenly Emperor level had no power to fight back at all. They directly turned into blood-red light and flew into the mouths of the 9 dragons, turning into energy to activate the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron. The 9 Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldrons glowed, and their auras became stronger and stronger. The dragon-shaped carvings on them seemed to come alive. Soon, the blood-colored True Dragons in this area were all devoured. Lu Ming immediately shifted his focus to devouring the blood-colored True Dragons in other areas. If the few alien races knew that Lu Ming had such a great time in this place, they would probably die of anger. Lu Ming kept running and devouring the blood-colored True Dragons. In just a few hours he had devoured more than half of the blood-colored True Dragons. The reason why it took him a few hours was that the blood-red True Dragons, which were equivalent to 6-star Heavenly Emperor realm experts, could still resist and were relatively difficult to deal with. Boom! Just as Lu Ming was about to continue controlling the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron to devour the blood-red True Dragon, the mountain in the middle of the wilderness suddenly shook. Then, it emitted a bright blood-red light. Suddenly, a dragon's roar came from the mountain, shaking the earth. There are True Dragons in this mountain too. Wait, this mountain can't be a huge tomb, a True Dragon's tomb. Lu Ming could not help but guess. And the more he looked like it. It was very likely that an extremely powerful True Dragon was buried in this mountain. Many years after its death, the dragon's soul spread out and turned into many blood-red True Dragons. This was highly possible. The Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron was resurrected after devouring such a dragon soul. The dragon's roar from the mountain became louder and louder. Then, it emitted a piercing blood-red light. A huge blood-red true dragon rushed out of the mountain, emitting a powerful and shocking aura. Peak 7-star Heavenly Emperor. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. This blood-red true dragon's aura had already reached the peak of the Heavenly Emperor realm. It was extremely terrifying. I don't know how many years it has been since its death, but its remaining dragon soul has already reached the peak of the Celestial Emperor realm. This true dragon couldn't have been a powerful existence at the martial god realm when it was alive, could it? Lu Ming guessed and was secretly shocked. At this moment, the 9 dragons also roared, and the 9 divine ninth dragon cauldrons emitted a brilliant light. The 9 illusory dragons pounced directly at the blood-red true dragon at the peak of the Heavenly Emperor realm. The blood-red true dragon also pounced at the 9 illusory dragons. The 2 huge dragons intertwined in the air and fought fiercely. A vast dragon might spread in all directions. The other blood-red true dragons lay on the ground and didn't dare to move. The 2 giant dragons were locked in a fierce battle. It wasn't that the combat strength of the 9 dragon shadows was so strong that they could be compared to a peak Heavenly Emperor. It wasn't like that. However, the 9 dragons seemed to be born to restrain their opponents, or rather, to restrain the dragon souls. That was why the 2 of them were locked in a fierce battle. This battle was a long and fierce battle. This was because once the blood-red true dragon was destroyed, it would reform. However, every time the other party was defeated, the 9 dragons would take the opportunity to devour some of the other party's dragon souls. However, there was an endless supply of dragon souls coming in from the mountain. Therefore, the blood-red true dragon was always in its peak state as it fought with the 9 dragons. This battle lasted for a full month. Lu Ming was speechless. He might as well cultivate at the side. However, after a month of fighting, the 9 dragons finally gained the upper hand. That was because there was finally no more dragon soul to replenish the mountain. Without any replenishment, every time the other party was defeated by the 9 dragons and devoured a part of it, he would become weaker and weaker. In the end, the true dragon was defeated by the 9 dragons. It turned into wisps of light and was completely devoured by the 9 dragons. Buzz. After devouring the true dragon, the divine 9-dragon cauldron shook violently. It was dazzling, and its aura reached its peak. The divine 9-dragon cauldron had completely recovered. Lu Ming could control it with a single thought. What a terrifying power! Lu Ming controlled the divine 9-dragon cauldron. He was overjoyed when he felt the power emanating from it. He felt that if he controlled the 9 divine 9-dragon cauldrons at the same time, he might be able to burst out the power of a peak Heavenly Emperor. Lu Ming was overjoyed. This meant that with the divine 9-dragon cauldron, he could fight a peak Heavenly Emperor. Continue. Lu Ming controlled the divine 9-dragon cauldron to continue devouring the remaining blood-red true dragons. Not long after, the blood-red true dragons on the wilderness were all devoured by the divine 9-dragon cauldron. Not a single one was left. Chapter 2487 9 Cauldrons showing their might on the other side of the wasteland, there was also a road. It kept going forward, and no one knew where it led. Lu Ming did not hesitate and stepped on the road. He was much more confident now. With the help of the divine 9-dragon cauldron, he was not afraid even if he encountered a peak Heavenly Emperor. Now, the only threats to Lu Ming were the unrivaled powerhouses and the martial arts god. However, there were too few of them. The only martial gods left were the non-human divine ancestor and the ancestral dragon. There were not many martial emperor powerhouses either. For example, both the primal chaos god monarch and the undying god monarch had fallen. There were not many people like him in both the heaven realm and the evil god realm who were half a step into the martial god realm. According to what Lu Ming knew, this time around, neither the heaven realm nor the evil god tribe had such people come in and were guarding outside. Of course, this was only on the surface. Lu Ming was not sure if there were such people in the dark. He continued to advance, but the path he took after that was completely devoid of danger. It was calm and peaceful. Lu Ming had advanced at least a few thousand miles. Lu Ming was somewhat speechless. Although the castle looked huge from the outside, it was not that exaggerated. After entering, he realized that the space inside was shockingly large. Space technology was probably used. After a few thousand miles, the road became narrower, and only a few people could walk side by side. After traveling another 1,000 miles, Lu Ming's eyes lit up. A door had appeared in front of him. It was the end. Lu Ming strode forward, using the divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron to protect himself, and rushed into the door. Behind the door was a vast hall. The hall was filled with brilliant light. Lu Ming was stunned when he saw it. The source of the light in the hall was a ball of light. In the hall there were balls of light. Each ball of light was dazzling, and there was a treasure in each ball of light. Yes, it was a treasure. Most of them were combat weapons. There were also some storage rings and bracelets. All of them were treasures, and there were hundreds of them. I am rich. Lu Ming was ecstatic. He then flew up and grabbed a ball of light. Buzz. However, when Lu Ming approached the ball of light seemed to have a mind of its own and flew away. Don't even think about leaving. Lu Ming chuckled. His muscles trembled and his body burst out. The way of the master condensed into a big hand and grabbed at the ball of light. This time, the ball of light could not fly away and was caught in Lu Ming's hands. However, after grabbing the ball of light, Lu Ming did not take out the combat weapon inside because it was blocked. The ball of light seemed to be formed by the array on it. It would not be easy to take out the treasure inside. Refine. Lu Ming released his nominator's power and began to refine the ball of light. Fortunately, the defensive power of the ball of light was not that strong. After a few minutes, Lu Ming had refined it. A long spear-like combat weapon fell into Lu Ming's hands. It's only equivalent to a great emperor weapon. Lu Ming took a look and was a little disappointed. This long spear was only equivalent to a great emperor weapon. It was not of much use to Lu Ming. However, it was not a bad idea to bring it out for others to use. Lu Ming kept it. Next, Lu Ming grabbed another ball of light. This ball of light was also a combat weapon, a combat sword. After Lu Ming caught it, he refined it for a few minutes before he took out his combat sword. They're equivalent to Heaven Dao soldiers. This time, Lu Ming was overjoyed. This combat sword was actually equivalent to a Heaven Dao soldier. It was filled with layers of strange arrays. Lu Ming injected energy into it and waved the combat sword, unleashing a shocking power. Weapons that were equivalent to the Heaven Dao soldiers were priceless. Lu Ming had not obtained many of them so far. Even if Lu Ming did not use it himself, he could bring it out and give it to the Celestial the Arch in the Heaven Realm to use. It could greatly improve the combat power in the Heaven Realm. After obtaining a Heaven Dao soldier-level combat weapon, Lu Ming's heart burned with passion. He continued to grab other orbs of light. Next, Lu Ming caught dozens of light orbs in succession. However, there weren't many heaven soldiers. There were 5 of them among the 30 light balls, and the rest were all emperor-level weapons. In addition, the storage rings and bracelets were all made up of divine stones. A large number of god stones. Lu Ming was overjoyed. He had really struck it rich this time. There were more than 30 light orbs and 5 weapons of the Heavenly Dao soldier level. Lu Ming was already very satisfied. There were a few hundred balls of light here, so wouldn't there be a few dozen Heaven Dao soldier level weapons? If word of this got out, it would scare people to death. Also, with a large number of divine stones, Lu Ming would not have to worry about resources for a long time. Lu Ming was even more excited to collect the light orbs. At this moment, in another direction of the hall, dozens of figures flickered and rushed in from behind a door. The evil god race. They were all from the evil god race that Lu Ming had encountered previously. It seemed that after so much effort, these foreign races had finally opened up the path on the left, and the 2 paths on the left and right led to this hall. The moment these evil god race members saw the balls of light in the hall, their eyes shone with a fiery light. The moment they saw Lu Ming, their fiery glow turned into a cold, killing intent. It's Lu Ming. Damn it, he's not dead. The six-star heavenly emperor of the foreign race roared. Lu Ming entered the path on the right. He did not die and had entered this place earlier than them. They were extremely puzzled. However, they did not think much about it now because they saw Lu Ming collecting the treasures. Their eyes were red. They had worked hard for a few months, and in their eyes, these treasures were all theirs. Kill him! The six-star celestial, the arch of the alien race, shouted coldly. He held his saber and took the lead in attacking Lu Ming. The cold gleam of the blade slashed at Lu Ming. At the same time, the other alien races also attacked Lu Ming, trying to kill him. I was going to find you after I collected all these treasures. Now that you've come here, they'll send you on your way. Lu Ming said indifferently. With a single thought, the 9 divine 9-dragon cauldrons flew out. Buzz! The divine 9-dragon cauldron trembled and emitted a terrifying aura, which pressed down on the dozens of alien races. Not good. Feeling the power of the divine 9-dragon cauldron, the 6-star heavenly emperor realm alien was shocked. He unleashed his full power and turned his attack into a defense. However, the other alien races didn't react as quickly. Boom! When the divine 9-dragon cauldron came crashing down, the bodies of the foreign kinds with weaker cultivation bases exploded. Even a 5-star heavenly emperor was torn apart by the vast power of the divine 9-dragon cauldron and died on the spot. Only the 6-star heavenly emperor did not die, but he was seriously injured and retreated while spitting out blood. The divine 9-dragon cauldron's power was equivalent to a peak great emperor's power. How could these non-humans block it? Run! The non-human 6-star heavenly emperor turned around and fled without thinking. But it was too late. The 9 cauldrons expanded rapidly and suppressed all directions, shrouding him within. No! The alien roared and slashed out with his saber, sending out hundreds of saber lights. Chapter 2488 Great Harvest. This alien was indeed very strong. He had the cultivation base of a 6-star heavenly emperor, and the saber in his hand was also a heavenly Tao soldier. However, the divine 9-dragon cauldron was no ordinary heaven Tao soldier. The ancestral dragon had told Lu Ming before that the divine 9-dragon cauldron was refined by the ancestral dragon for the 9 dragons. It had taken both the ancestral dragon and the 9 dragons' painstaking efforts. In the end, the 9 dragons had used it to suppress the passage. It was no trivial matter, and its power was far beyond that of an ordinary Heaven Tao soldier. In fact, it had already surpassed the category of Heaven Tao soldiers. Clang, clang, clang. The 6-star celestial thearch's saber kept hitting the divine 9-dragon cauldron, causing sparks to fly and the cauldron to shake. However, every time he collided with the divine 9-dragon cauldron, the 6-star heavenly emperor's body would shake. A powerful force blasted toward him, causing him to suffer heavy injuries. After hundreds of collisions, the other party spat out a large mouthful of blood. Cracks appeared on his body, and fresh blood seeped out. Lu Ming, this time, our clan's divine ancestor and the murderous heart divine ancestor will definitely recover to their peak. At that time, the heaven realm will be destroyed, and you will die without a burial place. The foreign celestial the arch roared. Console yourself and go on your way. Lu Ming said coldly. He tried his best to control the divine 9-dragon cauldron and bombarded it one after another. In the end, the 6-star heavenly emperor couldn't hold on any longer. His body cracked and then exploded, and his body and spirit were destroyed. With a wave of his hand, he kept the alien's storage bracelet. Lu Ming was not in a hurry to collect the treasures. Instead, he rushed toward the passageway that the alien had just come in from. He would first kill all the alien races and then collect the treasures. When they arrived at the passage, they saw blood-red true dragons wandering around. However, their numbers were much fewer than the ones on the right, and none of them were too strong. It was no wonder that the foreign races were able to rush over. Lu Ming did not hold back. He controlled the divine 9-dragon cauldron and devoured all the blood-red true dragons. He followed the path and walked outside. Indeed, there were some alien races guarding the place. They had all been killed by Lu Ming. Then, Lu Ming returned to the hall and began to collect the light orbs. After spending a few days, Lu Ming finally put away all the treasures in the light orbs. There were 35 Heaven Dao soldier-level weapons and the rest were Emperor-level weapons. There were also a large number of divine stones. Lu Ming did not count them as they would be enough for a while. Especially the 35 Heaven Dao soldier-grade treasures. If he brought them out, it would probably cause a huge commotion. Although this netherworld mountain is dangerous, it also comes with opportunities. Lu Ming sighed. I wonder how little Qing, Bubbles, Dandan, and Feng Ling are doing? Lu Ming thought of Xian Yanqing and the rest. He could not help but feel worried. This Yellow Springs world could be said to be extremely dangerous. Not only did they have to face the alien races, but they also had to face the experts of the Yellow Springs world. If they were not careful, they would be in danger of dying. Xian Yanqing and Dandan were both at the Heavenly Emperor realm. As for Bubbles, Long Qin, Feng Ling, and the others, their cultivation levels were still low. There were also his 2 disciples. If they were to encounter the other party's Heavenly Emperor, they would probably be in danger. All of this would depend on luck. The vast netherworld mountain was huge and boundless. It was as big as the 9 heaven domains of the heaven realm combined. There were hundreds of forces in the various countries. In addition, there were also large areas of wilderness. There were many wilderness areas that were inaccessible to humans, but there were also cursed lands. There was a huge lake. The water in the lake was pitch black, and it emitted a shocking demonic qi. A figure suddenly appeared here. It was Xian Yanqing. Xian Yanqing's lips curled into a smile. He stepped into the lake and disappeared. In another place, in the middle of the mountain range, a mountain range suddenly split open. Gravel flew everywhere, and smoke and dust filled the air. When the dust settled, a huge tomb appeared in the direction of the crack in the mountain range. It was extremely huge and exuded a vast pressure. A figure rushed out from the rubble. I knew there would be a huge tomb here. The treasures in this tomb will be mine. The figure laughed and rushed into the tomb. In another direction, there was a strange terrain. The ground here was filled with passages that were connected to each other like a beehive. 2 figures appeared at the entrance of a tunnel. The 2 figures were Lu Ming's 2 disciples, Lu Xiangxiang and Ouyang Moli. I didn't expect that there would be a cursed land in this barren mountain. Senior sister, should we go down and explore? Ouyang Moli asked. The 2 of them were lucky. They didn't expect to meet each other not long after entering Netherworld Mountain. Since we're here, of course we have to go in. Lu Xiangxiang said. Pooh. At this moment, a strong wind suddenly blew in the honeycomb-like caves, and a terrifying suction force gushed out. Not good. Lu Xiangxiang and Ouyang Moli were about to escape, but it was too late. They were swept into the cave by the force. In other places, many people had their own fortuitous encounters and entered some wondrous places. The people of Netherworld Mountain could not enter these places. For example, Huang Ling, Long Qin, and the others had met the top experts of the Heaven Realm. They had explored a few cursed lands with them. Of course, there were also those who were unlucky and met with alien races, and were killed by them. Or, they were killed by the local experts of Netherworld Mountain. Of course, there were also alien races who were killed by the Heaven Realm experts. Lu Ming, for example, had killed many alien races after entering Netherworld Mountain. After Lu Ming kept all the treasures, he strolled around the hall. There were a few large doors in the hall. There were 2 large doors. They were the doors that Lu Ming and the rest had entered from. Lu Ming explored the rest one by one. However, these doors led to other side halls, and there was nothing to gain from those side halls. Very soon, there was only the last door left that Lu Ming had not explored. Lu Ming walked in. He went through many passages and arrived at a small hall. This hall was also empty, with only a statue. Lu Ming's eyes lit up at the sight of the statue. This was because the statue was exactly the same as the statue that Lu Ming had seen in the legacy site in the country of Feng Ming. Furthermore, this statue also exuded a ruler's will that was many times stronger than the one in the country of Feng Ming. Could it be that there's a statue like this in every cursed land? Lu Ming's eyes were burning with passion. To Lu Ming, the nominator's intent on the statue was more precious than anything else. It would allow Lu Ming's understanding of the way of the master to deepen rapidly. Comprehension. Lu Ming sat cross-legged in front of the statue and began to comprehend. Lu Ming circulated the path of domination and resonated with the statue. The statue emitted a strong domineering aura that enveloped Lu Ming. Lu Ming began to study it carefully. The ruler's will on this statue was much stronger than the one in the country of Fengming, so it would take much more time to comprehend it. Lu Ming spent 2 years in comprehension. Chapter 2489. Searching for the Cursed Land. In 2 years' time, Lu Ming had completely comprehended the will of domination on the statue. Lu Ming's understanding of the path of domination had improved greatly. However, Lu Ming felt that he was still a little short of breaking through to 5 stars Great Emperor. Although the sovereign intent on this statue was very strong, even stronger than the one in the country of Fengming, it was still very strong. However, as one's cultivation level increased, every breakthrough would be more difficult and the requirements would be higher. When the ruler's intent on the statue was completely comprehended, the statue cracked like the one in the country of Fengming. It was covered in cracks and finally exploded with a bang. It exploded. Lu Ming was filled with anticipation and ran up to take a look. In the country of Fengming, the statue had exploded. There was a fiery red fruit growing under the statue. After Lu Ming refined it, his physical body had a breakthrough. What would it be this time? There was nothing. When Lu Ming went up to take a look, he realized that there was a flat floor under the statue. There was nothing. Lu Ming was indignant. He searched the area carefully but still did not find anything. I was too greedy. Lu Ming touched his nose and smiled bitterly. It seemed that it was pure coincidence that there was a fiery red fruit growing under the statue in Fengming. Moreover, he had gained a lot this time. Lu Ming was satisfied. It's been more than 2 years. It's time to leave. Lu Ming smiled and left the place. After arriving at the platform outside, Lu Ming's body began to transform rapidly with a single thought. In the end, he turned into a purple-haired royal member of the evil god tribe. A third eye appeared between his brows. Lu Ming swaggered out of the cursed land. A group of Dragonians was still standing guard outside the cursed land. He's out. The group of Dragonians perked up when they saw Lu Ming. After all, it had been 2 years, and there had been no movement from the cursed lands. They had thought that all of the evil god race members had died in there. How is it? What did you find in there? A group of Dragonians surrounded Lu Ming after he came out. Everyone, we've encountered a troublesome matter inside. We don't have enough manpower, and another group of experts from my clan has arrived. I'm going to go and help, Lu Ming said. So that's how it is, then go. The Dragonians did not suspect him and let Lu Ming go. Lu Ming left this place easily and found a hidden place. He transformed into a Dragon Man and swaggered to the capital of the Dragon Man Kingdom. In the Dragon Man Kingdom's capital, Lu Ming began to collect a large number of materials related to the cursed land. If there was a statue in every cursed land, it would be of great use to Lu Ming. He might be able to cultivate his ruler Dao to an extremely high level in Netherworld Mountain. To Lu Ming, time was the only thing he was lacking. After all, Lu Ming had only been cultivating for less than 200 years. To the Celestial the Arch who had been cultivating for hundreds of thousands or millions of years, it was just a fraction of the total. If the foreign race's divine ancestor managed to obtain a healing treasure on this trip to Netherworld Mountain, the final battle would be upon them. Before that, Lu Ming had to make the best use of his time and improve quickly. Lu Ming had stayed in the capital of the Dragon Man Empire for 2 months. He had read a large number of ancient books and records about the cursed lands. There were many cursed lands in Netherworld Mountain. Some were located in important places such as near the capital of Fengming Country and the Dragon Man Empire. These places were usually guarded by experts from the native living beings of Netherworld Mountain. As for the cursed lands in the wild, because they were too isolated and the locals could not enter, they were rarely visited by people and were often left unattended. Lu Ming's target was the cursed lands in the wild. Let's go to Yanming Mountain. Lu Ming confirmed his target and left the capital of the Dragon Man Empire. After traveling more than 100,000 miles, he transformed into his true form and summoned Heavenly Venerate's 6 sages and the rest from the small world. Senior 6 saints, I'm going to Yanming Mountain next. Lu Ming told him his goal. Well, go with you, the Celestial said. All right. Lu Ming nodded. The group moved together and headed towards Yanmingshan. Blazing Mountain was extremely remote and was located in the wilderness. There were very few people there, but there was a cursed place, Blazing Mountain. After flying for tens of millions of miles, they arrived at the Yanming Underground Palace. However, they were attacked the moment they entered. This underground palace had a type of puppet that was covered in flames and was very powerful. The group broke through all the way in. This underground palace should not have been plundered by anyone. Everyone had obtained many good things. However, compared to Lu Ming's gains in the Dragon People Empire, these were considered small. Lu Ming saw another statue in the depths of the underground palace. Who exactly is the owner of this statue? There's a statue in every cursed land. Could it be the master of Netherworld Mountain? Lu Ming guessed in his heart. Moreover, this statue also had a strong sense of domination. However, compared to the statue in the cursed land of the Dragon Man Empire, it was not much different. Lu Ming spent some time and completely understood it. The statue also shattered, but there was still nothing under the statue. After that, they left the Yanming Underground Palace and headed to the next cursed land. In the following days, Lu Ming and the rest went to various cursed lands in the wilderness. Some of them had some gains, but some of them were empty. Obviously, they had been plundered. However, to Lu Ming, every cursed land was a treasure trove. This was because there was a statue in every cursed land. Heavenly Venerate's 6 saints and the rest knew that the statue would be of great use to Lu Ming. Therefore, they waited patiently in every cursed zone. Moreover, they had encountered alien races in some of the cursed lands and fought them. However, with Lu Ming's current combat strength, he could easily defeat those alien races. Just like that, time passed by quickly. In the blink of an eye, 20 years had passed. In the past 20 years, Lu Ming and the rest had explored no less than 20 cursed lands. Unfortunately, many of the statues in the cursed lands did not have a strong dominator's will. Lu Ming could easily comprehend them, but it did not improve his Tao of domination much. Even so, Lu Ming's cultivation level had improved and he had become a 5-star great emperor. Lu Ming's abilities had also improved. Now that Lu Ming had unleashed his full power, the combination of the way of domination and his physical body was enough to rival a 6-star heavenly emperor. I still need to find some large cursed lands. Lu Ming was deep in thought as he sat cross-legged under a statue in the cursed land. Over the years, Lu Ming had come to a conclusion. In a small-scale cursed land, the dominator's aura on the statue was relatively thin. The larger it was, the stronger the dominator's intent was and the more useful it was to Lu Ming. Chapter 2490 Situation changes. However, many of those large-scale cursed lands were in the hands of some major forces. For example, those forces with invincible powerhouses. Also, the most powerful force in Netherworld Mountain, the Netherworld Empire, was the most cursed land. Without a doubt, the Yellow Springs Empire was the ruler of the Yellow Springs world and the only force with a god. Moreover, there was more than one deity who commanded the entire Yellow Springs world. It could be said that all the forces in the Yellow Springs world were vassals of the Yellow Springs Empire. The Yellow Springs Empire. At the thought of the Yellow Springs Empire, Lu Ming was filled with anticipation. He had checked the records before and knew that the most cursed land in the Yellow Springs world was in the Yellow Springs Empire. It was said that there was a life fruit in the cursed land that could heal even the most severe injuries. Even if it was a god, it would have great effects. Moreover, there were other treasures inside. Lu Ming reckoned that the ancestral dragon and the divine ancestor of the non-human race would definitely go to the Yellow Springs Empire because only the fruit of life there could heal their injuries. However, that place wasn't a place he could go to right now. It would be a waste to go there against an existence like the foreign race's divine ancestor. It was better to focus on improving his strength first. Lu Ming closed his eyes and meditated on the will of domination on the statue before him. The dominator's intent from the statue was very faint. Lu Ming spent less than a month to fully comprehend it. After searching for a while and finding nothing else, Lu Ming met up with Sixth Saint and headed outside. After leaving the ruins, they chose a direction and flew off. Wait! After flying for a while, Lu Ming suddenly spoke and then stopped. The others also stopped. No, this area is too quiet. The experienced heavenly venerate six sages immediately sensed that something was amiss. This area was completely silent, as if there were no living beings, not even insects. Something was definitely wrong. At this moment, a large number of figures flashed in all directions and surrounded Lu Ming and the rest. Some of them were at the Great Emperor realm and some were at the Heavenly Emperor realm. All of them were glaring at Lu Ming and the rest with cold killing intent. Everyone, who are you? Why are you surrounding us? Lu Ming asked. The person who will kill you. A cold voice rang out, and two figures walked out of the crowd. Evil God Tribe. Lu Ming, six sages, and the others were stunned when they saw the two of them. Lu Ming. When the two members of the Evil God Tribe looked at Lu Ming, their eyes were filled with cold killing intent. Kill them. One of the Evil God Tribe members gave the order. Buzz. Buzz. Bush. Immediately, the experts moved and charged towards Lu Ming and the rest. Hundreds of attacks were about to drown them. The strongest is the 5-star Heavenly Emperor. As soon as these people attacked, Lu Ming could determine their strength. The strongest were the 5-star Heavenly Emperors. There were only 2 of them. The others were all below the 5-star Heavenly Emperor. Lu Ming immediately summoned the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron. The 9 Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldrons floated around him and blocked all the attacks. Then, with a shake, they blasted in all directions. The Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron was so powerful that these people couldn't block it. The terrifying power blasted out, and screams rang out. These people's bodies exploded one by one. Even the 2 5-star Heavenly Emperors were the same. Their bodies exploded and they died on the spot. The 2 1-star Heavenly Emperors from the Evil God race had even weaker cultivation bases, but they were also killed instantly. Lu Ming dashed past them and kept all the storage rings. Let's go, Lu Ming said. Everyone left the place at top speed and flew north. However, their expressions were grave along the way. Apart from the 2 members of the Evil God race, the rest of the people from earlier were obviously natives. Could it be that some major power had been controlled by the Evil God race, so they had sent people to guard the cursed lands and hunt down the Heaven Realm's experts? That was their guess. They flew all the way, and 2 days later, they arrived near another cursed land. However, they saw a massacre near the cursed land. A group of people was besieging more than a dozen Heaven Realm experts. Moreover, those Heaven Realm masters were obviously at a disadvantage. There were already 7 or 8 corpses on the ground, some of which were from the human clan, and some from the divine beast clan. The ones who surrounded the Heaven Realm experts were obviously natives. However, they saw a few evil god tribesmen among them. Kill! Lu Ming and the rest did not hesitate and charged out. Lu Ming's control of the Divine Nine-Dragon Cauldron was equivalent to that of a peak Heavenly Emperor. There was no suspense in the battle. Lu Ming had completely annihilated these people and a few members of the Evil God Tribe. Many thanks. The Heaven Realm experts were overjoyed to have survived the disaster and thanked Lu Ming and the others. Everyone, what's going on? Lu Ming asked. We don't know either. They had just finished exploring this cursed land and left the cursed land for a short distance before they were surrounded. One of the men said, The situation is the same. Lu Ming furrowed his eyebrows. For the past 2 days, they had been hurrying on their journey. They had already left the territory of the previous force and arrived at another force. However, this force's actions were the same as the previous forces. Could it be that the surrounding major forces were all controlled by the Evil God Tribe? Or was he working with the evil god race? Lu Ming had a bad feeling in his heart. After that, everyone gathered and left the place together. A day later, they arrived at the vicinity of a huge city. However, there were people checking the city gates around the city. Let's go and take a look. After discussing, Lu Ming and the rest changed their appearances, concealed their aura, and walked toward a city gate. All of you, when you enter the city, you must pass through this door, understand? One of the Tauren widened his eyes and chided. Lu Ming discovered that there was a pitch-black door outside the city gate. It was not big and there were many strange lines carved on it. Everyone who wanted to enter the city had to pass through this door. Buzz. Suddenly, when a white-haired old man passed through the door emitted a brilliant light. The aura of the heaven realm. Kill him. A cold shout rang out. Then, experts pounced out from all directions. So many experts. Lu Ming's eyes narrowed. 2 5-star heavenly emperors and 1 6-star heavenly emperor instantly rushed out. The white-haired old man shouted and retreated, but it was too late. Bang, bang. A few attacks landed on the white-haired old man, killing him directly. Lu Ming and the rest could not help but stop in their tracks. Damn it. It's the evil god race. Someone growled. However, he kept his voice low and didn't let it out. It's definitely the evil god tribe. The door they created can detect the heaven realm aura on our bodies. The Celestial said, "You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.